Well, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, for this Vitality Blast T20 clash between Kent and Middlesex. It is must-win time. We're at the business end of the T20 group stage. Kent in 6th. And the short scenario is they need to win here and win against Essex on Friday and hope results go their way. It is still very possible. Myself, Dave Fortin, alongside me, Cameron Emmanuel Burns, who's already been commentating on the women's match, which unfortunately Kent lost to Middlesex. The horse is going down, Cameron, but yeah, I don't know what we can glean from conditions from that match. How do you see this one going?
Well, it looked like a good batting track. Middlesex batters at the beginning took to full toll of it, but as we say, huge game. It's been a great day to be a part of. The first time that both the women's and the men's have played a blast game back to back. It's been great atmosphere in the crowd, and they're going to need that, the Kent boys, this afternoon. Yeah,
Middlesex winning the toss, opting to bat first. You can see the conditions here. You get a sense of how hot it is just by the amount of ice creams and beers that have already been consumed. It is a scorcher, as it has been for most of this summer in 2025. Middlesex, who I guess mathematically can just about qualify, but they need a lot of things to go their way. They did get a win the other night against Gloucestershire, but yeah, they are playing largely for pride unless miracles do happen. But they'll think, well, we can win a couple and reel a few in. You never know. They're a dangerous side, full of talent, likes of Kane Williamson, all his pedigree, class and experience, and Stevie Eskenazi, who got a brilliant 90-odd against Hampshire in the week. So they'll be a tough opposition, but the crowd, nice crowd on a Sunday. It's like a different vibe, Cam, to the Friday night where the beers are drunk. It's very family.
Yeah.
A lot of young boys and girls who've come in to watch both matches today, the doubleheader.
And we've also had free coaching on for them today, which has been great to see so many kids around. And like you say, it's a bit of a different vibe, but all the same, we need that atmosphere out here today to support these Kent lads.
Absolutely. So that is Sam Billings and his team. Of course, they are missing one big name. Daniel Bell-Drummond is not there. He was injured Friday night, that little hamstring. And the good news, I guess the only good news, they say every cloud has a silver lining, is that Daniel Bell-Drummond is going to join us on commentary very shortly. He's here in the marquee in our little kind of gazebo-y tent, and we're going to get the thoughts of Deeb, so we get the inside track on the Spitfires, their campaign, what they have to do to try and reach the knockout stages. So he'll be popping up really shortly. Great to have him with us. We thank him for joining us, so that's something to look forward to. But here come the Spitfires. You can probably hear the dulcet tones of Big Stevie. He's fired up as always to welcome the Spitfires. And there are Eskenazi and Williamson, Middlesex's opening pair. So losing the toss on a hot day, it's only 20 overs, Cameron. It's not the end of the world. But I guess in these conditions, you don't mind batting first.
No, and that's how they went well in their last game against Gloucestershire, going on and putting on the score of 189 with Kane Williamson deployed, both getting half centuries. But then again, Kent, I think they'll fancy chasing. They did well against Sussex at Hove doing that. Didn't do so well setting a target last game out when you were here on Friday, so I don't think Kent will be too displeased. No, I don't think they'll mind too much. The other big news from the other big team news is that Grant Stewart is back, the Italian stallion qualifying for the World Cup. And he's a big guy that Kent have missed, I think, because he's been fantastic in the Championship, popping up with useful runs, as well as his kind of main thing, which is to take wickets. But he does lengthen this batting order. One of the things we noticed on Friday night, no disrespect to the likes of Klassen and Gilchrist and Parkinson, there was a bit of a tail, wasn't there? Grant Stewart gives a bit of ballast down the bottom end. I think what's obviously a shame is Tom Rogers and his injury. That bit of bowling all-rounder coming in at 8, we lacked that on Friday night. And Grant Stewart, as you say, the Italian standing after his heroics in the Cricket World Cup qualification, he comes back in to bolster that batting line-up. Well, not only is he bolstering things, but he has been entrusted with the new ball by Sam Billings. So it's going to be Eskenazi first up to face. He has been in really good touch. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Stewart with ball in hand. Must-win territory. Here we go. And Middlesex off and running. Just a gentle prod to it off. Stevie Eskenazi gets the ball in different areas. It's in fact not Kane Williamson. It is Ben Geddes. So this is a change. It's the problem with them being a million miles away is Geddes to open up. What do you make of this? Well, again, it's what went well for them in their last outing. Williamson, obviously the class, he knows how to bat different circumstances, coming in at 3. Geddes is doing well himself. He's got over 220 runs this year in the blast. Dangerous combination with Eskenazi. Attractive looking shot, and that is going to be the first boundary of the day. Running away down the hill.
make a wonderful sound off the bat. Might have been a little bit low, but he won't mind. He's off and running. Yeah, I did think, actually, I commentated on Middlesex, Hampshire in the week, and Kane Williamson is a brilliant player, and the bigger picture is everything he brings, you know, when you're mixing with those younger players in the dressing room. So they will learn an awful lot playing with the likes of a Kane Williamson. But for the balance of this Middlesex team, they are chock full of batting. And you look at it and go, yeah, do we need him? This is a bit of a false stroke into the leg side. It's a dot ball. I mean, it's not that you ever want to belittle, and I'm not belittling someone as good as Kane Williamson, but it's probably not his strongest format, even though he's played IPL and he's played all over the world. But you just feel with Middlesex, actually, you know, bowling-wise, they just need a little bit of oomph.
I guess that'll become clear when we come out to chase. I wouldn't mind having Kane Williamson inside.
This one's turning the legs. I tell you what, no disrespect to Kane Williamson, I'm not swapping him for a Bell Drummond and Millet at the top of the order for Ken.
No, me either. That is the top opening duo in the comp.
Absolutely. I'm also saying that because Daniel Bell Drummond's about 1.5 yards away from me, but
thinking.
I still wouldn't swap him. Kane who? Playing a miss. Stewart does get that away shape. And he's a bit quicker than you think. He's in good touch. He's got runs and wickets for Italy.
With the two Aussies not playing, obviously he's entrusted with the new ball this game, whereas before he's been coming in after the power play using those slower balls. So it's good to see him bowling at full tilt here.
Another decent delivery, picks out mid-wicket getters, so no run there. So just the one boundary, 5 off the over. Decent start from Stewart. And it'd be interesting to get Daniel Bell Drummond's thoughts on Grant Stewart. He's been around for a number of years now, but just feel like he's just starting to really blossom. We've seen glimpses, haven't we? The pink ball game everyone talks about against Middlesex. Interesting that, you know, entrusted with a new ball against Middlesex today. Some players do have teams they go especially well against, and Middlesex will know all about Grant Stewart, so that'll help his confidence. But I think it was earlier in the piece, might have been the Gloucestershire game here, that he didn't bowl at all, I don't think. So it's good to see him get the new rock.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, he's turned into a personal favourite of mine. It's Mr. Fred Clarkson opening up from Nacton Road End. Left arm swing bowler. Gone well on the last couple of games.
Yeah, well, I was commentating with John Warnett on Friday night, and Clarkson came out to bat in very difficult circumstances, and I was thinking if only Cam was here, he'd be waxing lyrical.
I'll just driven off the face of the bat. Quick little single there to Parkinson. Oh, direct hit.
Yeah, direct hit. Got to be a little bit careful of those. Showing at the stumps, the ricochets can.
We had a number of them in the women's game. 3 or 4 direct hits.
Did we?
Yeah. None of them out.
None of them out?
No, but they were good.
Costly? Any ricochets?
Yeah, a couple. The ones of us, I believe.
So I spoke to James Hockley up in hospitality about his Phil Brown moment. You saw when they were all sat out on the ground, and he was pointing his finger, and he said, yeah, it did seem a little bit Phil Brown. He was actually being really positive, he said.
Oh, Billings has gone on. Oh. I think that's the classic keeper trying to avoid the wide.
Yeah, so Billings, a little bit of kidology. He's got that in his locker.
But yes, from a distance, looking over at Mr. Hockley, it did look a bit Phil Brownish.
Yeah, it looked like he was giving him a bit of a dressing down, quite a conspicuous one, because the men had obviously gone into the changing rooms and there was nowhere for them to have their debrief, so they were sat on the outfield doing it.
Driven just wide a point. Must be the 1 third man. Yep. Harkey just cleaning up there.
He did say it was largely positive, so the fingers were being pointed, and it was a well done you and a well done you, and that could have been better, but that was excellent. There was a lot of that going on. Perceptions.
That's it. There was positives to come from the game. Good partnership. Also, from Barnfather and Paul.
Yeah, transitional year, a building year for the Horses.
Oh, and there's off stump, cartwheeling out of the ground. Freddie Clarkson, what can't he do? Beautiful start. That's the danger man, Eskenazi. 364 runs, but he's not going to be adding to them today. What a top start.
Yeah, exactly what the Spitfires would have wanted. A dangerous Eskenazi. That one aimed at the stumps. I was looking at it live. I wasn't watching our monitors to see how much the ball did duck back in through the air. But Klassen can swing the new ball. And on that occasion, it looked like it might well have come back into Eskenazi. He likes to give himself a little bit of room and free the arms through the offside. And as soon as he gets past the rope, we will get a replay of that dismissal. It's a good start from Klassen. And he's done this for a number of years with the new ball. We bowled the tough overs at the start and end of the innings. Just seeing how much this came back. Eskenazi, yeah, just outside. Yeah. Just gave himself a bit too much room. I actually think Eskenazi, I talked about this before, he likes to give himself room outside the leg stump. But I think to the left arm over bowler, it's probably not the option. The angles work a little bit against him with the ball going across. So just an error of judgment. Didn't look like it came back too much, but bang on target. Freddie Klassen, Middlesex 8 for 1.
I must say, giving us the fault in his flowers. All the way pre-show, he was saying Eskenazi gives himself room. And lo and behold, that was his downfall. But brings out New Zealand legend, Kane Williamson to the wicket. And I'm excited to see how he goes here.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't listening to my commentary. He was extra fired up to put a big one on the board.
Oh, quick single taken. Yeah. No. They get through. He scampers for his first run. He's off the mark.
So interesting to get Daniel's thoughts on Kane Williamson, because Daniel knows I love a good forward defensive. And I don't reckon anyone, maybe Joe Root, Daniel plays it pretty late himself, but his forward defensive, Kane Williamson, he talks about this. He was doing this with Nasser Hussain, I think, during the test match. He did a masterclass. He talks about hitting the ball on its head. Doesn't just hit the ball, is what some of us try to do, just locate the ball anywhere. He tries to hit it on top of the ball, so he plays it really late. That was an example of it.
Out bouncers. Again, Billings with a bit of the...
Just watching the umpire to see if the arms are outstretched, but that is a signal that says that's his one bounce for the over.
Good wheels, though.
Yeah, good change up from Klassen, and that did go through.
Well, that was no small so from the women's game. The ball was going through quite nicely.
Yeah. It was fresh pitch. The one on Friday night looked a little tired. And I think that did Kent no favours. This one a fresh pitch, and that one whistled through.
He's drifting down the leg side and ball taken by the skipper. Another wide ball.
Yeah, that one did swing. I had this problem the other day. This is temperature. iPad needs to cool down. I was going to check some Kane Williamson stats. Can't do it. Just put it in the shade for 5 minutes. Stick it in the fridge. But yeah, Williamson, fantastic technician.
Yes, was using his feet there. Well fielded off his own bowling. And finished the second 10 for 1, Middlesex.
Yeah, great start from the Spitfires. Exactly what Sam Billings would have wanted. Last thing you want is the likes of Geddes and Eskenazi getting off to a flyer. So Williamson tends to operate knocking around or run a ball. And if you bowl well at him, he scores, but he won't take you apart like some until he gets in. So he'll look to rebuild, you would imagine.
You imagine they'll bat around him.
Yeah, that's right. If he plays like he plays and ticks it along, he's made really good contributions throughout this competition. But regularly getting kind of 30s off 22, that kind of score.
He's their second top run scorer with 311 so far, and 250s in there. So yeah.
Strike rate?
I've got an average, no strike rate.
Strike rate's a T20 cam. Come on. So here's Stewart to continue after that good first over. This one played into the offside. Half a stop. In fact, possibly a chance of a run out. Yeah, it's a good bit of work. So Klassen mopping up. Trying to see who it was at points. I think it was Finchy at cover point. With the goalkeeper-like save. Pushing it round the post to Klassen. Just the single.
That defensive that you talk about with Williamson, it's also a scoring shot for him where he can get on top of that ball and just dab that down to third.
Well, he plays it so late, and if a non-striker's on his mettle, as they should be, particularly in this form of the game, it's very difficult to stop that single when the ball is rolling a yard or two away from the stumps. A nice looking stroke out through the covers, and it's going to be 4. Klassen was pushed back to that deep point fence. The danger with that is that sometimes it can offer up a bit of width. It can encourage the bowler to bowl to that side, frees his arms and strikes it beautifully through extra cover for 4.
Again, noticeably from the women's match earlier, anything that goes towards the line tree down there runs away absolutely rapidly for 4.
This one hoisted high towards the Cowdrey stand. He does not move. That is a big hit.
Oh, taken. Oh.
Taken in the crowd.
There's a juggle, I could see.
I was taken. I thought, have I missed the fielder? We're so far away. I thought, surely Sam Billings hasn't put a deep mid-wicket in for that shot. He had me go in there for a second. He was in the crowd. That is a maximum. So 2 quality shots from Ben Geddes, the former Surrey man. Cover drive, and then the pick-up when Stewart perhaps overcompensated. Just in the slot, drop-kicked it over mid-wicket. Beautiful cricket from Ben Geddes. Middlesex with a bit of a momentum all of a sudden.
Oh.
Yeah, good comeback from Grant Stewart. And I think this is the thing as a bowler, and get Deebs' thoughts in a couple of overs, but when you get hit for 4, you get hit for 6, you've got to kind of hold your nerve. You know that's going to happen in this form of the game. That's gone. You've got a time machine. You can't go back and bowl it again, so it's just all about executing the next delivery as well as you can.
I'd say the wicket's looking a good one though, for those 2 shots from Geddes.
Pace off that time, just with a single. Gilchrist fields at mid-off. So I get Daniel Bell-Drummond's thoughts on Ben Dawkins, who's just signed a rookie contract in the squad for these games. I really like the cut of his jib. I've seen quite a lot of him over the years. A destructive player. Nice to have young players like that coming through. Oof, that is a beautiful cricket shot. And slight misfield, which probably does Gilchrist an injustice. It was actually a really good stop. Beautiful, beautiful drive from Williamson. He gets a single.
I watched Williamson practice for about half an hour playing that exact shot. Delightful, honestly. But no, great bit of fielding there from Gilchrist. It's safe free.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cricket shot. But and this is how I think Kane Williamson looked to operate at about a run of balls. Only faced 3 deliveries. He's got 3. And that's how he'll probably start. If he gets a bad ball, he'll put it away. And he nearly got a boundary there, but Gilchrist intercepting.
And he's now on to bowl.
Yeah,
at the Nafton Road end.
And this will be fascinating because, as I said before, he's such a talented bowler. Nathan Gilchrist has been terrific with the red ball. I'll get Daniel Bell-Drummond's thoughts on everything he has to offer in a minute, but on occasion, he's just that nice pace. He comes on to the bat. See what he's got.
There's the late defence there from Williamson. Oh, he's had a terrific second half of this Blast campaign. Got 10 wickets in his last 4. He's now the top wicket taker for Kent with 13. So he's coming into this match with some form, is Mr. Gilchrist.
Good. You got the economy rates there?
His best of 4 for 42.
Yeah. No, he is a wicket taker. I think that's fair to say across all forms of the game.
Again, this time Williamson using his feet, but still not looking to be overly aggressive to it.
So the first ball that Williamson received, with immaculate forward defensive, I think if that had been bowled to, I don't know, Jason Roy or someone like that, it might have been disappearing back over his head out the ground. There's a kind of risk and reward that some players will go for. And there are others who will be more circumspect, and Williamson is in the latter camp.
And again, good line this from Gilchrist. As you say, you know, especially at the beginning of Williamson's innings, he's not going to be looking to be overtly aggressive against you. You can just kind of get yourself into your spell by just looking to hit a good line and length, so you know it's not going to be punished.
Yeah, I think he's plays every ball on its merits to more often than a lot of people do in this form of the game. And I say really welcome Daniel's thoughts on this shortly as someone that opens the batting regularly in T20. That balance between just looking to play and then essaying something more savage, because Gilchrist is building some pressure here on Williamson. And I saw him do this against Hampshire, and he was just over a run of ball, about 24, 25, and then he had a big swish across the line at something that wasn't there because the pressure he'd almost allowed the pressure just to build a bit. Eskenazi was going great at the other end, but he was not quite hitting his straps. So if you can bowl well to Kane Williamson in this form of the game, you can start to create some pressure.
Oh, ball beaten out the outside edge there, Gilchrist. Good wheels. This pitch has something in it.
Well, now we have the interesting situation of 5 dot balls. I'm saying Gilchrist a wicket taker, but can sometimes be expensive. And he has heard what we've had to say, and he's going, I'll show you, Fulton, expensive. I'm going to give you a maiden, which very rarely happens in T20 cricket.
Well, that's 1 ball left. It's the classic.
Love a maiden. Yeah. Wicket maiden would be better.
Oh.
Here it is.
Excellent.
There it is.
Gilchrist.
Yeah, keep him in that, Williamson. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, you'll shout early on.
Yeah. No, I jest. Obviously, from the Kent perspective, you want him out. He is a class act, and if the longer he stays there, and also what he has is that experience where he won't panic. He knows he's got the quality to catch up if he gets himself in. And if he's finding it difficult, you don't chuck it away, because you can almost guarantee that the guys following him will find it just as difficult. But great start from Nathan Gilchrist. Hit a length and kept the Kiwi legend quiet. So Cam, if you do one more over, then we'll get Daniel in for the last over of the power play. We'll do 20 minutes or so, and we'll go from there. The change of ends for Klassen. This one has been hoisted by Ben Geddes. He looks in decent touch. And that has gone all the way. So same kind of area. One off the front foot in the last over off Stewart. This one off the back foot. It was kind of a straight back pull. It wasn't your conventional cross back, kind of swivelly pull. Just stayed hands low underneath it. Picked it up with a straight bat, middled it. And another maximum.
I was going to question whether the maiden in the over before was going to create a bit of pressure on Geddes, but clearly not.
It's not quite carried to Harry Finch. Good pickup, actually. So by the footholes, the wicket ends, that cover point can be tricky. A dirt patch in front of him. He picked it up on the half volley really well. Feature these days of the modern keeper. I mean, Harry Finch, who did actually field as an outfielder for quite a long time. He's not kind of out-and-out keeper historically, but he is a fine fielder, as was Billings, as was Jordan Cox. So many of these keepers are terrific athletes. This one is smacked away, and Finch has got him. So we just build him up, and that is the end of Ben Geddes. Beautiful catch from Harry Finch, who almost had in the ball before. Klassen strikes again, and Middlesex lose their second. 29 for 2. Harry Finch. That was fantastic.
Well, he gave him the big build-up with his escapades as a keeper, and look at that in the outfield. He's been superb all season when he's been in the side. Great diving catch there. Ben Geddes probably feeling he has to get on with it a touch with only an over left after this in the power play. And look, it's that man again. It's Mr. Fred Carson.
Yeah, great work from Klassen. That brings it looks like it's Max Holden coming to the crease. He's a dangerous customer, but yeah, great catch from Harry Finch. I just wonder, I mean, you did talk about the pressure that was built up. Obviously, I don't think it impacts too much what's happening at the other end. I think Geddes will go and just play his game, regardless of what Kane Williamson does. I'm a big believer that if someone's soaking it up a little bit or chewing up, it's kind of their job to get themselves out of a hole. You don't necessarily have to kind of do it for them. But the first ball disappearing for 6, 2 balls later, miscues to cover. Great catch.
That brings the skipper, Duploy, out.
Yes, Duploy. It's not Holden. It's the left-hander, and similar kind of build to Holden.
I think Holden's out injured at the moment.
Oh, that's good work from you. That's to teach me to do my hospitality and not check the team sheet.
He's coming in with some form. This is the pair that got 50s in their last game. So important partnership to break here for Kent.
Yeah, big opportunity for Kent here. Get rid of the captain. So a bit of shape and just prodded back down. Yeah, interesting times at Middlesex. Richard Johnson no longer there, the coach. And the captaincy changed. Toby Rowland-Jones, 4-day captain, replaced by Duploy. And Stevie Eskenazi also been replaced by this man at the crease as captain. So the season hasn't gone quite as they would have hoped. They've championship campaign. Still harbour aspirations for climbing the table and pushing towards promotion. Hasn't quite fired. This one is scooped, and that is a lovely shot. Good bit of improvisation. Like that, he got down low and kept his head really still. You see so many players when they scoop, they're kind of scooping on the move. Well, he got down and he was very still when he played that over his right shoulder. Lovely.
Yeah, he's known for his innovation. If you're fans of Super Kings franchise, he's created a name for himself, Jobo Super Kings in the SA20. With innings full of innovation just like that, using the pace. But again, looks like a good wicket to be able to trust the pace and bounce. And that, they were thinking about putting out a man at fine leg, but Parker's been brought back in short fine.
Yeah, I don't think you mind that too much as a bowler. I mean, he might go again, but there's always an element of risk with a shot like that. Yeah, good bit of bowling. Tough to scoop that one. So that does end the 5th over. Middlesex 33 for 2, thanks to Cameron Emmanuel Burns. We're going to get to Daniel Bell-Drummond, club captain, and Kent legend on the mic. First thing you'll notice, Daniel, good to have you with us.
Pleasure to join you, folks. Weird being this side of the
yeah.
of the ropes, but
so firstly, how's the hamstring? Sort of keeping you out for a couple of games, not ideal.
Not ideal. It's getting there. Probably 50-50 to play on Friday. Outside chance of Friday, but hopefully the 4 days the following week.
Good. And I guess it will depend how the table looks as well, because if there's something on it, then you're more likely to play. If you come unstuck today and results go against us, there's nothing to play for you. I guess you wouldn't risk it.
100%.
This one down the leg side, and they're going to just sneak. No, it's gone down to fine leg. Nice return from Klassen. So what do you make of this start, Daniel? 34 for 2. Williamson 4 off, 3 off 10.
Yeah, it's been a very good start for us. Doesn't look the easiest of wickets, tiny bit too paced, but we'll be very happy with this start. I know Sam behind the stumps will be buzzing, but plotting his next moves out the power play.
Yeah, so that a leg bye. So Gilchrist has bowled 7 balls. He's yet to concede a run from the bat, which is really encouraging from the big fast bowler. He's round the wicket to the left-handed deploy. This one is going to be runs. It's squirted away to third man. Chase for Finch, and he can't quite reel it in. So just opening the blade. First boundary off Gilchrist.
Yeah, a good player deploy as he comes in the middle order. Looks to go from nearly ball 1. Heard a bit about your Kane Williamson theories.
No, I'm one of the biggest Kane Williamson fans that there is, and trust me, and I think everyone is, because he's he's such a force for good, isn't he, in our great game, a real ambassador for cricket. I thought the way he carried himself the World Cup final in 2019 was great. In what must have been the toughest of circumstances, from a cricket context, just class through and through, and he's a brilliant player. But I think it's fair to say that this form of the game, on the surface, as experienced he is with Sunrisers in the IPL and playing T20 cricket World Cups, I still think the longer forms of the game are his stronger suits. Let's just see this ball, get Daniel's thoughts on that as deploy. Punches to mid-off, they get a quick single. I don't know he's obviously a class act across all formats, but if you bowl well at him in T20, you can keep him quiet sometimes. Yeah,
it's a weird one. I mean, he's obviously world class. Played all around the world in all formats, and yeah, the game does keep moving forwards quickly. He'll be the first to know that, but I think he backs himself to the point where he knows if he gets 20 off 20 or 30 off 25, he can win the game for his team. So it's just that balance, isn't it, versus the new type of player who goes from ball 1.
Yeah, I mean, interesting here, he's 3 off 10. If he gets out now, he's ducking this one, so great bowling from Gilchrist. Just looked like he was going to come down the wicket at him, shuffle down the wicket, and Gilchrist really bent his back. That was a quick bumper.
Yeah, he's got a bit of pace, Nathan, hasn't he? Looks to be in very good rhythm at the minute. But no, back to Williamson. This time, sort of in the power play last over. This is when you're panicking as a top order batter.
Well, I was going to ask that. You would have had occasions when you got off to flyers, and sometimes you go out there, nothing hits the middle of the bat, and you find yourself 3 off 10. What goes through your head? How much do you premeditate? How much do you start to grip that bat handle a bit tighter? There's a Williamson pause. He miscues this one. It's like one of my pull shots. It just got to mid-wicket. They get a single.
Yeah, I get to that period a lot as an opening batter. Hopefully you get off to a good start, but if you don't, it's either because someone's had more of the strike at the other end, or you haven't quite got going. And yeah, it gets to a point where it's a T20 game. You have to go. The fielders know that. You know that. But it's about backing your options and what you've done in training and go for it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get out at some point. So just stick to your game plan and not hope, but yeah, you've got to back yourself. But it definitely happens a lot as an opening batter.
Yeah, and I guess like you mentioned, Williamson backs himself and he won't panic. He'll know that 4 off 12 could easily be, 30 off 22, that kind of thing. If he gets a couple out the middle of the bat, a couple of maximums and a couple of boundaries, before you know it, you've caught the runs per ball up and you start to fly. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays against the spin of Matt Parkinson, who always makes the batter do all the running in terms of putting pace on the ball. Williamson content to just prop forward again, 4 off 13.
Yes, difficult period of play for him. Now with the pace off the ball coming out the power play, I think it's going to be a bit trickier.
Punched off the back foot. A long off, always quite wide here with the slope. That pocket over extra cover always looks quite inviting, I think.
Yeah, I feel like, especially at Canterbury with Matt Parkinson, long off, especially with it spinning away, is that bit wider. I know Sam's very keen on getting him wider. People probably look to target extra cover, and or whether it's the left-hander, that mid-wicket pocket. So like you say, towards the cafe.
Yeah, very noticeable that the fielder in front of the Frank Woolley, who is long off now to the left-handed loose deploys quite straight, and the long on is that much wider. So still plenty of acreage straight back over Parkinson's head. But he's a tough man to get to because he bowls it quite slowly. You can rock back and punch him on the back foot, but it can be tough to get to when you're coming down the pitch. This one's swept. He's going to get the single. Jerry Everson does the fielding in front of us. Down at backward square leg. So just in terms of the mood in the camp, I mean, obviously Friday night was disappointing, but Somerset, good side. I mean, they really looked one of the teams to beat. They're top of the South Group for a reason. But the good news was that Sussex and Glamorgan lost, so you're still very much in this shake-up. Parkinson, Williamson defends again. Yeah,
it's all still there to play for. Definitely felt the vibe when the guys came off the pitch Friday night and heard the other results. Definitely is still all up for air in our group. So, yeah, I think the guys are very confident going into this game.
This is powerfully struck down the ground by Williamson. This is going to be the single.
And yeah, knowing our home conditions as well, I think we've got a good balanced attack. And yeah, I think we'll back ourselves these next 2 games and see what happens from there. But we can only control what we can.
Yeah, it must have been particularly gutted to miss Friday night, given how well you played at Taunton. T2000s don't come around that often. You got a few of them now. That was a pretty special knock. You must have been delighted with that one.
Yeah, it was awesome. Taunton's a lovely place to bat, and hope Matt's not too hurt. He's getting up slowly.
I think he's winded himself. I think he's gone full length to stop the ball. It was a good bit of work, but sometimes when your arms are outstretched, you land on your midriff and you knock all the wind out your sails. So I think he's all right. I think he's just a bit winded.
Just hobbling off.
Landed on the ribs and the middle. So yeah, a few more crunches for Parkinson.
No, he should
toughen that up.
But yeah, no, Taunton was a brilliant day. Great win as well. Obviously going to the top of the table team. But yeah, lovely place to bat. And no, it worked for me that day. And it's one of those things, as we discussed, come back into the power play, wasn't going too quickly. And then I just had to make a move. And after that first 10-15 balls, I started striking it very well. So it was great to get 100 there.
No, it was brilliant. And then for Tawanda to follow it up at Chelmsford, introducing Jack leaning into the attack. And that one has been smacked straight back at him. And we talked about the Williamson factor. Well, Leaning has come on back of a length. He has this canny knack, doesn't he? Canny Jack, of picking up the big scalps, and Billings has turned to him, and Williamson has gone. That is not his best innings in Middlesex colours. Gone for just 6, and he's chewed a few balls up as well. 43 for 3.
No, big breakthrough there. Like you said, Williamson couldn't quite get going tonight, or this afternoon, sorry. And yeah, Jack's just got one of those golden arms, hasn't he? Whatever format of the game comes on, canny bowler, as you say, thinks like a batsman, and that looks to have just stuck in the wicket a little bit, and he's ended up chipping it back to Jack. So lads will be very happy with that.
Yeah, that is a big scout. Ryan Higgins, one of the, I don't think he's that underestimated, is he? Because people know just how good he is on the traps, around the traps, but he always seems to perform. One of these players, I kind of put him in a Lewis Gregory type bracket, who impacts games with bat, ball and in the field. He's the new man to the crease, as Leaning is into him. He gets turned onto the leg side. He'll be content to take a single, but yeah, at first glance you think Higgins bits and pieces, but he's better than that, isn't he? I mean, you've got the double 100 against him in the championship game at Lords, but he's asking questions.
No, he's a serious player. I've played against him a lot over the years, and he always finds a way to impact with bat and ball. And especially in red ball cricket, he's turned himself into a brilliant sort of middle order batter.
He'll deploy it in the face, not for the first time, able to pick the gaps. A talented player. Just a couple of games to keep an eye on. Firstly, Gloucester against Glamorgan. That, of course, is so key to this final shake-up. Gloucester probably out of it. Glamorgan in that final qualification spot in fourth. 175 for 6, Gloucestershire off their 20. As that one has been
cut away.
Yeah. Cut away.
Higgins for 2 to 1. Lovely stop on the boundary.
Thanks, Steves. Just having a look at, so difficult to see here with the sun shining in, trying to get the results from elsewhere. Put this in a little bit of context as it gets pushed along on for Everson, who will do the work. So this has been a really good start for the Spitfires. 48 for 3 now. Daniel Bill Drummond, club captain, with his hamstring strain, alongside us on commentary, which is brilliant to get the inside track as Leaning comes in again to the Middlesex captain, who is deploy. So the talk ahead of these remaining 2 games, I guess it's one game at a time, isn't it? But what was the chat? What was Adam Hollyoake and Sam Billings saying ahead of this and after Somerset?
Yeah, the biggest message from Hollyoake was just to leave it all out there and back our plans. We've done a lot of talking, had a few meetings, gone through everything, and Hollyoake just wants no regrets and make sure we put our best foot forward and take the positive option. And yeah, that doesn't mean always playing attacking cricket, but it's all about making sure you back your plans, and what will be will be. But he's been brilliant in that sense, Hollyoake, and obviously Sam's a very experienced captain, done very well around the world and with Kent. So yeah, it was just about giving us that confidence going out into these last 2 games.
So down the wicket is Higgins, tossed up invitingly by Parkinson. Kind of old school, get it up above the eye line, which is not often the modern way, but he's such a tough customer to read. I'll just mention that Gloucestershire score, 75 against Glamorgan. Well, Sussex Sharks, the other team in contention for that spot, along with the Spitfires. As we watch this ball from Parkinson deploy. Hard sweep, lovely sweep, but straight to deep square where Harry Finch does some good work yet again. Sussex Sharks, 167 for 7 they have posted. So, yeah, just, what do you think? 167 down in Southampton. Kind of middling type score, isn't it?
Par, just below par, I reckon.
Yeah.
Hampshire will fancy their chances, but
well, we want Hampshire to win that one. They're in 3rd position. We don't mind what the top 3 do. They can keep winning. It's very much 4th spot that the Spitfires are going for.
Absolutely, any means necessary into the next round.
Yeah. Well, we see it so often, don't we? The team that sneaks into 4th can take that momentum into the knockout stages, deploy down the wicket. Didn't get all of it, hits it pretty hard and straight, and that is Klassen down at long on. He's got an excellent arm and scurried across well there.
Yeah, we saw that last year with Gloucestershire. They just snuck into 4th place, didn't they? And then, yeah, knockouts came round and absolutely smashed it up at finals day.
Yeah, they did. They were emphatic on finals day. Hampshire have done it a number of times, sneaking into 4th and then getting the job done. Of course, when you guys won it in 2021, it was very different. I think the best team in the competition by a distance that year, as Higgins cuts away and Everson will do the fielding at backward point. Just another single. Yeah, first 3 games at home. I remember being on commentary, won the first 3 games, got onto a great role. Fielding was electric. The guys were in great touch with the bat. The plans with the ball were first class, and yeah, it was just a brilliant run in that competition. Everything clicked, didn't it? And I mean, you captained the bulk of that competition, of course, with Sam Billings being away, and must have been a lot of fun.
It was good fun, good fun. Team, peak of their powers. Adam Milne to death. What a bowler he is. So yeah, having some world-class players. Having Zach back from England duty as well. And yeah, I think everyone chipped in, and it was an awesome year. Topped the group, and yeah, finals day, one of the best days of my career so far.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I remember being on commentary for all those home matches, and then going up to finals day with my boys, jumping around on the seats, watching you guys win. So chuffed for walks as well. It was my eldest godfather, and it was just, yeah, it was brilliant to see you guys bring it home. It was certainly my favourite day as a Kent fan, I think. Certainly see Leaning continue. Reverse from the play. He's got hold of that. That is a high-class shot. Swung himself off his feet, but crucially gets low, doesn't he? Gets underneath it and got it up and over those two men who were behind square on the offside. Quality. Quality
from deploy. Such a good option. I've been trying to learn that for years. But yeah, especially against the off-spin, leaning down the slope. See, point and third man will genuinely be up. So very low-risk option when you're that good at it.
Yeah, they're going to tweak it now. So they actually got two men back on the... so they're guarding against that, but what that means is that long on has to come up inside the circle. So Leaning's got a guard against just floating one up there. This time he tries to go fine. So good field change from Sam Billings, asking his deploy to do something different.
Very good captaincy. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think deploy hits well down the ground, but get him out of his comfort zone for sure.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what he's done. Comfort zone or not. I mean, to be fair to Jack Leaning, he didn't float it up there. He kind of bowled it into the surface, and deploy. He's not a tall man, but he made full use of his height, swung through the line, crunched it over mid-on, just a couple of feet short of the rope.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad ball. Obviously, with this field, the spinner, you're not used to long on up, but very good shot.
That is cleverly bowled from Jack Leaning. He did toss that one up, maybe a fraction wider, asking deploy to drag it over long on. He opted against it. But you always want one more fielder as a captain, don't you? You want one more fielder allowed outside the circle, or just one more fielder in general, because there's always a gap. You can't cover everything.
One more everything. One more all-rounder, one more. That's cricket for you. But yeah, especially in the T20 stuff, middle overs, when someone can reverse sweep as well as deploy, it just always changes the field, and then long on comes up, and he takes advantage of that.
So deploy 23 off 17. Still a pretty decent position here for the Spitfires. We're in the 10th over, 64 for 3. Middlesex have not got away. As sweeping again, and a half a chance. And this one is going to go for 4 as well, I think. That is fantastic batting, but you can see those field placings from Sam Billings inviting him to go finer, and it nearly found Parkinson round the corner.
No, it's a good over for Middlesex. Obviously, they'll want to pick up the run rate here, but I understand where Sam was coming from, just taking deploy away from his normal reverse shot, but he showed his class there, hitting Jack over his head, and then was able to get a finer reverse sweep away. So good batting. Have to hold your hands up as the fielding team there.
It looks like it's going to be Parkinson to continue. I've got to ask you, you've got at the end of this, you've got a couple of rounds of championship action, and then you go Royal London One Day Cup, and different people slide off to the 100. Obviously things like that never happened in my day. There was no 100. It's kind of interesting that the toings and throwings, and you see Parkinson bowl this delivery, and this is pulled. It's pulled hard by Higgins, who's going to think about a second, but coming around quickly on the long on fence prevents the second run. Yeah, it must be a funny time of year for coaching staff, the likes of yourself, who may or may not be playing in the 100, maybe waiting for the phone to ring. I don't know how it all works. You tell us.
Yeah, it's a really weird time of year. Haven't been in the 100 previously, just been away from Kent for a month.
This is big down the ground. Is it a chance? Long on fielder underneath it. It's going to be touch and go, and it's gone for 6. That was Klassen, who's just, I thought for a second we might get that little Jordan Cox moment where he's running round and he jumps behind the rope and pats it back. I think it might just be on the breeze. It was hanging in the air for a while, but just had enough legs.
So close. I think he's held on to it, but obviously his momentum has taken him over the boundary. But
this one is cut away, so it's going to be the single to end up He patrols that side of the ground. It always amuses me that fielders go to the same spot, same side. Swan's like been a fixture out on that boundary. I mean, if you put him on the other side of the ground, he'd probably refuse. He's like, no, I don't do that side of the ground. I'm all about the ice cream van and the hospital side of the ground.
Yeah, he's funny like that. I'm sure that's for a reason.
So here's Parker really tossed up and mistimed by Higgins. They'll pick the single up as Everson swoops in, misses it, then he sweeps behind him. But yeah, I just thought when he's hanging under that one, Klassen there, that he might just be able to knock it back. I mean, we are not in the best position to see how far over the rope it went. But you practice that kind of thing.
We do. We practice that a lot.
Down again. We might have a second bite at the cherry here, although I think he's got this one even better. And it's a great effort. Is that down there? Is that Jack down there? Yeah, I mean, if anyone was going to get it,
serious effort. He's nearly thrown himself into the side screen.
It was a great diving one-handed effort. But yeah, that was another example of it there. Just for a second, I thought we could be seeing something a bit special. Mid-on, long on and long off kind of converge like that, don't they? So there is an opportunity to knock it to your mate if you get lucky.
For sure. The boys just got a bit too much on both of those, I reckon, but...
Well, that was nicely bowled. Maybe the wrong one. Just edged to short third man. So yeah, just going back to that point this time of year, you know, the Royal London One Day Cup, which again is another challenge. It's I guess in terms of priority order, it's probably third on the list of winning the championship or winning the Blast, given that some of the best players around the country aren't always in the opposition. They're not always in your side, but it's still an important one to win, and it's one we won. 22, wasn't it?
2022, yes.
Yeah, 2022. So it's it's an important competition, and it's also a great opportunity to have a look at a few of the younger guys or a few guys who are on the fringe of things that can really play a prominent role.
Absolutely. You learn a lot about your squad depending on who goes off to the 100. And like you say, it's a good time to find out about some young players, give them an opportunity, but also remain competitive. And yeah, I'm sure we'll probably lose a bit less than some other teams, so we should be very competitive in that tournament as well. But there's some serious young players coming through. That will be good to see in that competition as well. Yeah,
well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ben Dawkins get a crack at some stage. Just signed a rookie contract as Gilchrist returns. He's bowling round the wicket to the left-handed, deploys down the wicket, and he's smoked that. That has been crunched. He looks in. Really good touch, the Middlesex captain. A couple of quality reverse sweeps, two high and handsome ones off Parkinson, and then a down the wicket cover drive to greet the returning Gilchrist.
Yeah, he's in some serious form, Deploy. Obviously, captain come in, team probably going at 6 and over, and he knew he had to put the foot down, and he took a risk, and yeah, it's coming off at the minute. He's playing a very good role for Middlesex right now.
Yeah, he's 45 off 23, striking at just under 200. Slower ball from Gilchrist, and Deploy goes too far across, and it's a dot ball, so Gilchrist could come back from him, that change up. But yeah, just go back to Dawkins, who I've seen a lot of over the years. Really dynamic player. England under 19. He's got hundreds for them. He's got hundreds for the second team. I thought with you not being in this game, he might be a sniff of getting a gig in this game, but Kent have gone unchanged. How close do you think he was?
Yeah, he's a serious talent, Ben. You've obviously seen him quite a bit growing up.
He's on the paw. It's deployed. It's going to be the single. Picks out long leg.
And yeah, what strikes me about him is his calmness and also his height. He's similar to Zach Crawley in the sense he just covers length really well, back and forward, serious white ball player, as you say, and he was very close to playing actually. I just think with the balance of the team and getting enough all-rounders in the team, I just think they've gone with the extra bowling. But no, he's definitely good enough, and it would be great to see him play very soon.
So this is off pace. It's been smoked by Higgins. There's a man out there. It is Joey Everson. So there's change-ups from Nathan Gilchrist, which I haven't seen too much of early in the competition. Cameron made a really good point that he seems to have warmed into this T20 campaign, Nathan Gilchrist. He was a bit in and out, wasn't he, with the two overseas quicks, and one of them played. They both played, and Gilchrist tended to miss out. So it's good to see him getting a little run in the side.
For sure. We have a lot of strength and depth in that regard in the T20.
Wide Yorker, and it is dug out. So again, Gilchrist showing his skills here. He's hit his Yorker, started with a maiden to Williamson, some good change-ups.
And yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Nathan Gilchrist. He's got serious pace, he's good accuracy, moves the ball in red ball cricket, and I'd say T20 is probably the last thing that he needs to keep improving at, which you can only do with opportunity, and he's certainly done that this season. And like you say, it was tough with the two overseas seamers, but he's found his way in now.
Bouncer, play and a miss. Just a little bit too short on that occasion. And the arm is outstretched, so yep, too short. I like his thinking.
Yeah, I think it was a case as well of playing as a squad. We had 7 championship games to start the year and then 2-3 days off before the first T20. So I think he was just building into his white ball rhythm as well after trying to hit top of off every ball.
This one is miscue. Yet again, another Yorker right on the money from Nathan Gilchrist. Going to do him the world of good, this kind of level of opposition, bowling maidens to the likes of Williamson and firing in the Yorkers to deploy. So this is good to see, and it's a really good point you make, because people think about batters having to change their games. You know, you've been leaving it outside off stump, and you know, immaculate forward defensives in the 4-day game. You suddenly got to come out and smack it. But similarly for the bowlers, you know, you bowl top of off consistently in T20 cricket, you often go out the park. So suddenly there's one out the back of the hand, there's one in the block hole, there's hide a few wide.
Absolutely, yeah. As a bowler, you want to break up the batsman's rhythm and don't want to get too predictable unless it's the start of the game and a tactic's clearly working. But yeah, I remember speaking to Nathan after the Gloucester game, which was our first away game of the T20 Blast, and he was just like, wow, that was completely different from the 6 or 7 championships we just played. So just takes everyone a bit of time, and he's not as experienced in this format, so no doubt he's learning and improving along the way.
As our first look today at Joey Everson, who's another one who's learning and growing into his white ball game. Just going to be the single. Nice bit of work to aforementioned Mieye and his favourite boundary. Yeah, Joey's another one. I mean, to me, when I've watched him come in back end of games, he's been a bit kind of knocking it around and picking up the ones. He came in at Hove, maybe because of the situation, maybe he just, you know, felt like he had to strike the ball. I mean, he won that game for you guys down there, didn't he? He was fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. He had a good few sessions.
This one is short and it's pulled to deep mid wicket. It's just going to be the single.
Yeah,
there's a work.
He had a good few sessions with Hollyoak and just got his game plan right. I think he was just feeling his way in. He had a side strain, so he was straight back into that T20 at Taunton. And batting in the lower order, you don't really get as many opportunities or as much time to bat. So I think he just got given a clear plan, and he's one of those players. Once he commits to a plan, you can't really stop him with battle ball.
This is an off-place delivery. He's been swatted into the leg side and hit very hard by Duploy, and that is going to be his 29 deliveries for the skipper. He's picked up the captaincy in the week from Stevie Eskenazi, and he has hit the ground running. He has been absolutely terrific. And he's just changing this game a bit, because before he entered the fray, it was all the Spitfires. He's played beautifully, Deeps.
Very good knock from the Middlesex captain, showing his class. This is a specialist position, middle order, and I'm finding boundaries with 5 men out. One of the hardest things to do.
He's bunted this into the leg side. They'll want 2, they're not going to get it. So Finch is really quick, as we mentioned previously. One-handed pick up and throw.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better fielders, Finchy. Very quick to the ball. You'll see him doing all the hot spots, especially while people like Zach are out the team. He ends up being in the hot spots, Cow and places like that.
So Everson again, short ball, swung away. Is an extra cover, is it, Joe? Yeah, just slightly disappointed that he wasn't able to reel that in. Only costs the single. Yeah, just mentioning Zach. I mean, obviously we won't talk about the test debates, because, you know, everyone's got an opinion on Zach Crawley. I'm more interested in the kind of hole he left when he went to England's test team, because he started this campaign. Last campaign, you know, he just didn't get going at all, did he? Hardly got the 20. This campaign, we saw what he could do in T20 cricket. We all knew he had that game in him, and he's got T20 100 before, hasn't he? But he was fantastic for you. We see this one clips into the leg side. It's going to be another single.
Yeah, he was excellent. Showed his class. Coming in at 3, I think quite suited him. The game was in front of him, and whether he come in at 10 for 1 or 50 for 1, he took the game on. And one of his big things was around targeting a couple of bowlers on the opposition, so having that clear game plan and not just going after every ball, but being happy to take 6, 7 and over off certain bowlers and then really tuck into other bowlers. And I think Hampshire at home was his best knock, where he took down Turner and Brad Curry as well. And yeah, he really showed his class and did leave a hole for us, but Finchy's done extremely well coming into that position.
Yeah, it's interesting that tactic of taking down bowlers, isn't it? And he's kind of got that presence about him. And also Hampshire, you mentioned, he's great. Not just one of those teams that we mentioned earlier. There's some people go well against. Every time he goes either to Southampton or against Hampshire, he seems to get runs. I remember a championship 100 he got here, where he just blazed it. I was doing the radio. Of course, his double 100 against Pakistan was down in Southampton, wasn't it? So he likes Southampton, he likes Hampshire. His team he always seems to go well against.
For sure. I mean, he's such a classy player on his day. And I remember that COVID year, getting the 100 against Hampshire in the 4-day here. He'd just come off, I think, the Test double 100, was it 269 at Southampton? And he was in the form of his life. And yeah, Hampshire wore the brunt of that. And then, like you say, his knock here, that was a difficult wicket this year against Hampshire, and he played seriously well. So it won us the game that day.
So we've got a little delay at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Stan Billings is taking the opportunity to get a drink. The batters will get maybe a new pair of gloves and a bit of a rub down, a bit of a towel down, because it's a hot day out there. Maybe they've just gone, it's hot, can we have a drink? It's mid-afternoon. I don't know if you've seen what's gone on, Dave.
Not a clue.
I
don't think it's ours, guys, because they're just chilling with the drinks.
We had a couple of stoppages on Friday night. Tom Banton, a horrible injury to Tom, wasn't it? He was keeping wicket. I didn't see what happened, but he must have got one on the end of the finger or something, broken finger, dislocated finger, horrible injury.
Along those lines,
Stop for 5 or so minutes for that, and then of course the sun stopped play, which is a feature sometimes on those night games here.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It just peeps above the sight screen, especially for bowlers coming round the wicket or left-arm bowlers. It can be a nightmare. So not ideal, but again, can't really bat in those conditions. So yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I don't see it happen much elsewhere, but yeah.
And while we got the break in play, just get your thoughts on the championship as club captain and championship captain. Obviously started brilliantly. We had those injuries to bowlers and Keith Dudgeon. It's great that he's coming back, isn't it? But obviously where we are in the table now, an opportunity again to just, I've seen Ekhan Singh play, I've seen Jaden Denley play. I guess the advantage of being down there and not necessarily in the shake-up is, again, you can take a slightly longer term view and have a look at some of these talented youngsters.
Yeah, 100%. It's been a tough year in that regard with the Red Bull setup. And yeah, the injuries haven't helped. Not one to moan about that. But yeah, it does. There's always a silver lining with these things. And it's created opportunities for Jaden Denley and Ekhan Singh. And they've actually done really well in the twos and deserve it anyway. But yeah, they've shown a lot of promise and potential. And they've both made very good contributions in the games they've played. So the future's looking very bright, and no doubt they'll hopefully be a big part of Kent going forwards. And they're both all-round cricketers as well. I mean, Jaden's bowling some nice left-arm spin, and Ekhan just got a bit of pace. He's obviously learning the whole craft of being a seam bowler, but I'm pretty sure he clocks low 80s. Along low 80s, he could push mid 80s. But he's just learning accuracy, swing, things like that. But some serious talent between the two of them, so it's great to see them get an opportunity.
Yeah, interested you mentioned Jaden. Jaden I've known since he was really small, but left-handed as well. Just looking at your team here, I don't think we've got a left-hander with no Tom Rogers. I think we've got solely kind of right-handed players, and I think when we played against Sussex, they just seem to kind of roll out one after another, lefty, 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 as we see Jack Leading come into another southpaw, Lewis Deploy, who's shown that effect. So this could be out. It's gone straight up. It might actually land safe. I think Gilchrist could get there. Is it? Oh, he's popped down. That is really disappointing. An opportunity to take the main man out. He's played so well, and that should have been taken, Daniel.
Yeah, it's one of those, wasn't it? Landing between three fielders. Gilchrist will be a bit unhappy with that. He's made good ground, and unfortunately did all the hard work, but wasn't able to take the catch.
You're just going back to that point of left-handers. How useful is it to have that left-right combination? You captain against left-right combinations. It can be frustrating, can't it? Particularly if there's a short boundary, as we often get here down the bottom side of the ground. As Leading comes in, or to Higgins, who smashes this out too long off. Gilchrist again in the thick of the action. He's going to stop the second. Good bit of work that time.
No, he's covered some good ground there, Gilly. Able to stop the two. But yeah, left-handers are so key. As a captain, it's a nightmare. Sort of, especially on these slopes, actually. I think Ben Compton's a good example of, I'm not saying he's got runs because he's left-handed, he's an absolute gun. But yeah, the bowlers have to target different areas. they can't bowl as straight at left-handers, or they come round the wicket where some bowlers might not be as comfortable. And that stretches across format. I mean, in T20, the ends that left-handed batters can target. I mean, you're not just limited to ends of the team with small boundaries on the leg side.
This one has been whacked out into the leg side off leaning. Bit of a fumble, but they do not get back for a second as Everson recovers quickly.
But yeah, they create, especially left-right-hand partnerships, I'm sure quite difficult to bowl at, can be difficult to captain when you've got to change the whole field, change the plans. The bowler's got to get his rhythm started again against another left-hander, or vice versa.
Yeah, we're seeing that in evidence here with Middlesex captain. Those deploys play quite beautifully. His 57 off just 34 balls, and Ryan Higgins has come in and ticked it around. 106 for 3. We'll let Daniel do the rest of this over and one more, and we get Cameron back in as Higgins blasts this up. Gilchrist again in the way. Takes it nicely, one bounce. You just get the feeling here that Higgins wants to open those shoulders a bit. Not much better than a run of ball at the moment, but such a destructive player. Decent over from Jack Leaning. Should have had his man.
Yeah, he's bowled well there, Jack. Like I said, canny bowler, thinks like a batter, and controlled his lengths well. Seemed to go a lot fuller to Higgins, trying to get under the bat, and obviously used the pitch to deploy, and was unlucky there. Got him to sky one, and unfortunately Nathan couldn't quite hold on.
Middlesex batters in the middle. Great to have Daniel Bell Drummond alongside us here. That little hamstring strain hopefully won't keep him out for too long. Of course, he commentated for the radio on Blast Finals Day last year, which I know you enjoyed. Hopefully you won't be doing it this year, because you'll actually be there in a playing capacity with the Spitfires. But it's great to get your thoughts. Something you enjoy, the commentary side of things?
Yeah, it is, definitely. I do love the game, so yeah, I love talking about it, and yeah, enjoy sitting both sides of the fence really and speaking about cricket.
Here is Grant Stewart back into the attack. This one they're pushed into the leg side. They're going to take on Tawanda. They're coming back for a second. They're going to have to hurry. The throw comes in, and that is smart running from Ryan Higgins, who does get back for 2. And sometimes this is the way of things. No mid-wicket fielder has to get them all back on the leg side, prevent the boundaries. But as a batter, if you can bunt it in that gap, is then this absolute foot race, isn't it, between the two men in the middle versus the guy charging in off the rope.
I know, yeah, Holyoke's done a lot of work with us on that, just getting the guys starting 5 off the rope and being able to cut down 2s. But yeah, Higgins hasn't quite. He's been a part of a brilliant partnership.
This one is hit firmly by Higgins. It's Tawanda Mieye, all of a sudden a busy man. It's all 2020 cricket. I can't remember Joe Denley fielding a ball today. Maybe the one which he kind of half stopped. So often he's kind of in the game. And other fielders, we've seen Gilchrist and Mieye so busy. And sometimes you just find the ball doesn't come to you. Other days it doesn't stop coming to you.
I know, it's just one of those things. I think Joe's getting himself in the ring, using his experience to talk to the bowlers. And
oh my goodness me, that is like a switch hitting reverse thingy. And he completely missed that deploy. Just getting a little bit overexcited with these switch hits. He's been really effective at doing it, but that was
extravagant shot.
I'm just going to turn around and bat right-handed because I'm in that kind of touch, and he missed it.
To be fair to him, point up, third man up makes sense, but
this is a short cut away. Nice change of pace from Grant Stewart, bowling into the pitch off cutter. And it picks out Mieye yet again. You don't mind those at deep point, the ones that come straight to you when the batters are jogging. For sure.
Grant, it's a very smart customer, just taking it away from deployed swing. And yeah, if you're Mieye, you'd happily take those all off the loom.
And he's in the World Cup, Grant Stewart. Yeah,
what an achievement that is.
Brilliant performance. He's bowled him. So Grant Stewart just talking him up. That's the end of Higgins. Big wicket. Higgins threatening, as I mentioned, to open those shoulders. But he swung across the line at that one. And with a score on Nelson, Spitfires take their fourth. 111 for 4. Stewart takes out Higgins.
Big wicket that, folks. He was just starting to get going, wasn't he? He was just ticking, hadn't quite got his timing. And you just felt he was either going to get out or go big. So, very important wicket. Yeah, really big wicket. So,
Joe Cracknell coming in, and this is the point I made the other day when I was doing a bit of commentary for Middlesex, is that Joe Cracknell, I think, is a really dangerous, destructive player. I've seen him play quite a few belligerent innings. With Kane Williamson up the top, he's been forced down the order to kind of 6, 7, 8, that kind of territory. There's a bit of keeping for them, but he's a guy that if he comes off at the top of the order with his belligerent stroke play, can really hurt you. So I'm sure he'd be gleaning lots from Kane Williamson and the conversations that they had. It's almost the Williamson signing for me for T25 is almost like that bigger picture signing. He's a brilliant player, but it's also the other stuff he brings. Because, you know, on the face of it, he's stopped the likes of Cracknell coming in at the top of the order.
Yes, it's an interesting one. I mean, the experience of Williamson around the dressing room will be unbelievable, especially for the young players. I can vouch for him as a person. He's an unbelievable character to have as well.
Here's Stewart into Cracknell, who punches this elegantly enough to deep cover. They're coming back for a second. Finch won't be able to stop that.
Yeah, it's interesting with Cracknell though. Serious talent, been around a little while, and like you say, used to bat at the top of the order. Maybe consistency was a slight issue for him, but very destructive. Won quite a few games for Middlesex when he did get going. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? Do you have a more consistent player, or one to come off a bit less but win you games when they do?
Yeah, terrific stuff. Well, they're the thoughts of Daniel Bell-Drummond. Great to have him on commentary. Sweltering hot day at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. We wish Deeves all the best with that hamstring injury. Hopefully Kent very much in the shake-up come next Friday, and that recovers in time for him to play a major part. Such a key man for Kent, the club captain, and great to have him on commentary with us. So we get Cameron Emmanuel Burns back in situ as the ploy just knocks that one out for a single. Cameron, welcome back. Wonderful to get the thoughts of Daniel Bell-Drummond. Sorry we kept you off comms for as long as we did, but, you know, good to get that kind of insight from someone right at the coalface.
Absolutely, Kent's finest. Now back to me. How do you see this one then?
Well, I think Spitfires will be pretty happy with where they're at. I mean, obviously there's 400 overs to go. They need to finish well. There's a Cracknell miscues there. It didn't look like the most straightforward of surfaces, but I think that was to do with the early wickets. I think Kent bowled really well. Disappointing that Gilchrist couldn't cling on to deploy. That felt like a big moment. Cracknell is playing and missing at this. Leaning's been good. He's gone for 26 off 3.5. If he can get out at under 30, his part-time off breaks have worked wonders.
Yeah, and a really smart, sharp catch. Straight back at him.
Yeah, got rid of Williamson. This one a bit short. Pulled into the leg side. I think it could be in the gap. Yeah, it is. It's 4. So I said if Leaning could get away with under 30, it'd be a brilliant effort. He's now gone for exactly 30. But yeah, the big scalp of Kane Williamson chipped it back to him. And, it's been pretty economical. Just want to finish well here. A couple of balls to get out of his spell. Into the surface, pulled away again. This one, I don't think Finchy picked it up straight away. It's a deep mid-wicket. They're going to come back for a second. He's got a decent arm, but he's deep there. Just wasn't quite sure where that ball had gone. First couple of steps were the wrong way, and they come back for 2.
Yeah, Cracknell looking busy here at the start of his innings. Good foil to deploy here.
Could be a chance. That's another drop catch. I'm seeing Liam gesturing. I think he feels that was the batter in the way. Is that what you're obstructing the field? Liam Knight wants obstructing the field. Kent not appealing for that, but that's our Liam. He's as partisan as they come. He wants the batsman out. Wants the ploy gone for obstructing the field. But, I think there's a good effort from Jack Leamy.
He saved runs there.
Save runs, yeah. We'll take the saving of runs. Just to have a quick look at what's going on elsewhere. Remember, Spitfires very much in the hunt still, despite that loss on Friday night, despite the fact they're yet to win back-to-back games. They have hung in there, they have bounced back from defeats, and they're looking to do so again here. Started the day in 6th place, with Sussex in 5th, and Glamorgan in 4th.
Last I checked, Hampshire were going well in their chase against Sussex.
Yeah, 54 for 1, chasing 168. that's a decent start.
Yep, almost time then. Well, swept up in the covers. And Mr. Denley. Stewart coming to finish off his spell. He's done excellently so far, coming back into the side, 1 for 24. He could just remove skipper Duploy here. Been very happy with his day's work so far.
Yeah, Hampshire rattling along at 10 and over, just 6.2 overs gone. That's 68 for 1.
Again, use of the feet. Scampering for 2 here. And they get back pretty comfortably in the end. Well placed that from Deploy. To the right of leaning there at that long off.
Yeah, it's played really well Deploy, hasn't it? It's been the standout innings for Middlesex. What else has struggled a bit? Eskenazi's been brilliant at times this year, but he was castled early and Williamson never really got going.
Again, Deploy the use of the feet, trying to get the momentum into the ball, not really timing it away, just the one. It's often something you see with Deploy actually, is the use of the feet.
Yeah, so just looking at the other game that will interest Spitfire fans. 175 for 6 Gloucester, so Glamorgan needing 176 or 68 for 3 in the 8th over, so losing early wickets.
Getting into the gap, leaning round, this should just be the one. He's done well there.
Yeah, so far so good for the Spitfires, bowling nicely here, keeping a lid on this Middlesex innings. And the 2 teams immediately above them. I'll let you know what's happening table-wise.
You fancy if they can remove Deploy, they can keep this Middlesex line up to around that 150 mark with just 3 overs to go after this.
Yeah, I think anything under 160, Kent will be pretty happy with the first half of the match.
And given us wide. Bowl that one again.
So just to let you know what's going on in terms of points, Kent have 22 points in 6th place. They are on the same number of points as 5th placed Sussex. Obviously, if Sussex, who are struggling a little bit, lose, Kent will go 4 points above them with a win. Sussex do, however, have a game in hand and a better net run rate, worth bearing in mind.
Audacious once again from Duploy, going from that almost reverse hoik.
Yeah, he's tried that a couple of times. Hasn't worked for him. I think the reverse sweep was excellent. That reverse hoik, trying to catch up with Grant Stewart, who's not slow, and flick it over those men who are up at backward point and short third man. That's ambitious. And to just tell you about Glamorgan, who have played the same number of games as Kent, they are just 2 points ahead. So if Glamorgan lose and Kent were to win here, we would leapfrog Glamorgan and possibly leapfrog Sussex if they were to lose as well. So
this time down the ground. Clarkson getting round to it. He's put an arm in. Almost taking Grant Stewart's hand off there. But they get through for 2. That's Middlesex, 127 for 4 after 17.
Yeah, another decent over from the Spitfires. Stewart not conceding a boundary, so it's a good effort for the man. Deploy well set. So yeah, bottom line is here, Kent win, Sussex and Glamorgan don't, and they're both struggling at the moment. Then the Spitfires will go into that final qualifying spot. Sussex have the game in hand. So what it will mean is that it's all to play for come next Friday, and that's the position that Kent hope for. They just want to be alive in this competition. If they can have their noses in front and have their destiny in their own hands, then so much the better. But they just need to be alive, and this is a must-win game. You lose this one, and you're gone.
Absolutely, and even though you can't guarantee anything, but the last game for the Sussex, I guess the game in hand, which is next Friday, is against Surrey. Would they do us a favour?
Yeah, well, I mean, Surrey will obviously be looking to win, they're professionals, but they have guaranteed their qualification spot. Is, I guess, whether they can get a home quarter-final will be the other thing, which is so lucrative for counties. So there'll be a bit to play for, I would imagine, for Surrey to try and get that. They might not be able to overhaul Somerset at the top, but they'll still have an outside shot at the home quarter-final. So Fred Klassen returns from his favourite Nackington Road end. He's going to be over the wicket to the right-handed Cracknell. thumps this into the offside. Mieye is behind it. They've just beat a single. Almost hit that too well, Joe Cracknell. So, early days in this penultimate round of matches for Kent at least, but things going okay so far.
Yes, no, going okay, especially in the other games. Feel like this game is slightly on the knife edge still. Deploy has a good few overs. Really pile the pressure on Kent here. He is the key man now.
Tries that flicky scoop. Has it gone? Oh, he has missed it at short, fine leg. I can't see who that is. But yeah, the scoop again proving effective for Deploy. He's been better when he's just kept still and just deflected it rather than that big hoik.
Yeah.
That won the conventional lap. Who's that round the corner?
I think it's Parky.
Is it Parky? Short fine leg. Just half a chance there diving forwards, but wasn't able to grab it. So Deploy has played beautifully, but he's riding his luck a touch as well. Yes, nicely bowled. Klassen cutter into the surface.
Each time Deploy's gone for that, conventional is probably the wrong word for it, but the conventional kind of scoop, he's played it nicely. It's whenever he's gone funky, trying to reverse slap, he's come a cropper. Yeah,
tricky. I mean, Kent have got the fielders in the right positions here, fine leg and third man up, so the space is behind Sam Billings, the wicket keeper, as Klassen bowls here, and he's been sliced. This could be out. And he's taken by Finch. He's having a good game in the field. He's Kent's championship wicket keeper. He's a fine fielder. Took a brilliant catch earlier on, diving forwards at cover point. This time he's back on the boundary and coming in. He takes another good catch, and that is the end of the skipper Deploy for 68. And that is a valuable wicket because Deploy has been the one batter who's really put these Kent bowlers to the sword. So 132 for 5. 14 balls left.
Yes, huge wicket that for Kent, and it's that combination again, Klassen and Finch. Another expertly taken catch there from the red ball keeper, running in full sprint and diving to his right. Excellent work, and as we were saying, that was the big one. Holman though can hit a long ball as well.
Yes, we'd see this catch again. Finch steaming in at it, and then almost got to the side of it. Almost took his head out the equation by sliding in, but getting just to the side of it. Really good catch that, because they're the kind of ones you can come flying in for, miss altogether, and the ball goes for 4. So that didn't happen. Got his man. Klassen has another wicket. He's bowled beautifully, 3 for 20. But, Luke Holman can hit a big ball, big strong man. Got 100 in the championship fixture at Lords between these two sides. Bouncer, and that is tickled away beautifully. Just waited for it, let it come. Just ramped it over the keeper.
Yeah, I think the field kind of gave it away what the plan was going to be there. It was going to be short first up. Fine leg had been dropped. Mid-off came up. Holman backed away and just scooped it nicely over.
Yeah, just used the pace. Just let it deflect off the willow. Twice thumped into the offside. Straight to Harry Finch, and that bullet arm sends it back to Sam Billings, just the one. So decent over from Klassen. He has 3 wickets. Grant Stewart. Maybe Grant Stewart?
Stewart's bowled out now, I believe.
I was going to say they've just gone to Grant Stewart. He's 1 for 31 from his 4.
It'll be Nathan Gilchrist.
Yeah, Gilchrist. Excellent. Started with that maiden to Kane Williamson.
Yeah.
I don't see that too often. But to really look back from there, Nathan Gilchrist, just that one lapse, wasn't it? That one moment in the field when he put down Deploy. Actually, hasn't been as costly as it might have been.
You know, set the standard with the ball early on. They say don't often see a maidens, and that in a power play. His first 3 overs have gone for just 14. Kent would ideally be liking a quiet one here. High ball. Nice and full outside off stump, can only be dug away for the 1. And that gets Cracknell back on strike now. Cracknell's 10 off 8. with who's to come, Josh Little, Zafar Gohar, Tom Helm, Noah Cornwall, I wouldn't say there's too much in the way of big hitting. Oh,
Got depend on these two. Big shout from Gilchrist and Billings and Co. But not out. Sliding perhaps. Cracknell going for the sweep, Harry Brooks style. Less said about that, the better, I reckon.
Yeah, especially England all out, I noticed, sadly, on 90 odd. Caught up with that one. Drilled hard straight out. Grant Stewart there patrolling the deep square boundary. Good start to his penultimate over from Gilchrist, just the 2 off the first 3. Hit nicely. Bit of a misfield there from Denley. We're allowed. Oh, a slip then from EA also will allow them to get back for 2. Again, well bowled, nice and full, not getting him in any room to get underneath the ball there from Holman, just the 1. And well applauded from the Kent faithful.
Here's more top work from Gilchrist, isn't it? This is going to be... He's wicketless at the moment, but you could argue that this is his best spell. Best set of 4 overs. In T20 Blast colours, because as much as his 4-for was great, if you can go for under 20 the T20 Blast game. So this one's hit over extra, it's going to go for more than 20, it's a great shot. Put them offers on it, but 23 is still a very decent effort under a runner ball for Nathan Gilchrist. 23 off his 4 overs. He's been excellent today, but this is a fine strike.
Yeah, lovely shot that from Cracknell. Again, all day, any shot hit over that cover region and races away to the Oriole down there. That leaves Middlesex 146 for 5 with 6 balls remaining. Like I said before, Kent below 160.
Yeah, below 160. Spitfires will be really happy with their work, you think. It's a sweltering day. Good to see people continually flocking in to support these T20 Blast matches. The women's game earlier, highest ever attendance for a women's match at the first ever doubleheader. 1,492 were in to watch the horses. Unfortunately, succumbed to Middlesex, but still great to see so many people coming in on a warm Sunday. There's so much else on, Wimbledon and the Test match, but they've come down here to the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, to support their county. As Fred Klassen is finishing things off, 3 for 25 from his 3. He's bowling to Holman, who swats this into the offside. It'll just be the single because Leaning's fast and he's got to that one. So back to Billings. So yeah, you think when you have a Friday night game followed by a Sunday game, I don't know how many people here would have come to both games, but it's a tough ask, you know, for the marketing team and the Kent. I suppose there's a bid on it, isn't there? That's one thing to say. It's not like you're bottom of the division as has happened previously, but it's good to see the crowd coming in good number. As Cracknell waits, he's hit that up and over points. He's not going to get to that one, so that's a welcome boundary from a Middlesex perspective. Just a bit of width on offer. Cracknell sitting deep in his crease, scythes it over point for 4.
Absolutely, it's been lovely to see that it's been a steady number all day. The women's side earlier, as you say, it was a record attendance, and now a few more have spilt in for this Kent's men's game. It's been a lovely day, great atmosphere. It does seem like it's a different demographic to Friday night, but that's good too.
Slower from Klassen, clever bit of bowling, pace off and floated full, missed time by Cracknell, hits it straight back to the bowler.
And even better, a bit of a stare back from Clarkson to Cracknell.
This is previous ball. 4-4. So, yeah, I mean, there might be people that are recording the Test match. Do you think?
Yeah.
They'll give the game away and say India's 7 for 1?
Are they?
Yep.
Ooh.
7 for 1 in pursuit of maybe 193.
crunched.
That's a good shot from Cracknell. So that stare from Klassen didn't really do the trick. Just encourage him to wallop it over mid-off for 4. I think a lot of people watching probably had the Test match on, and then
Maybe on the laptop they've got this on the stream. Yeah.
We've got the blast on as well, so they're probably watching both. But if you know, want to give it away, so look at what's happening with England under 19s as well, as Hassan comes in again, and this one is pulled by Cracknell. Everson comes off that long leg fence and fields. Jaden Denley playing England under 19 Test match against India. He made 27 off 28 balls, so much like his forays in the Championship for Kent of late, going around about a run a ball, but not able to capitalise after a decent start. 5 boundaries for him. So wishing all the best in the second innings. India under 19s, 540, 190 for 2 with England in reply. Flintoff. 68. That's a great shot from Hole. He's walloped that, hasn't he? That is straight back over his head and goes to the boundary. So we said about 160, didn't we? Well, that is exactly what Middlesex have got. I think they'll be pretty pleased, Middlesex, given they were in trouble early on in the piece. But yeah, good little cameo at the end from Cracknell. 24 off 15. Holman just 14 off 7 to go with Deploy's excellent work. So that is decent effort in the end for Middlesex. But I think if you'd have said to the Spitfires at the start, 160,
they would have taken it.
I think they would have bitten your hand off for it. So decent effort from Stewart. 3 wickets for Klassen. Gilchrist, excellent, just going for 23 off his 4. So the Spitfires all to play for. Remember, they need to win this and do what they haven't done. They haven't done all competition, which is go back-to-back, win this one and beat Essex on Friday. They need results to go their way elsewhere. So far, that is looking pretty good with Glamorgan and Sussex struggling. We'll keep you abreast of those games, and we will be back for the run chase. The Spitfires will need 161. Big thanks to Daniel Bell-Drummond for coming on commentary for a decent stint. Cameron and I will be back in 10 minutes or so when the Spitfires will need 161 to win to keep their 2025 Vitality Blast campaign alive. So welcome back to our stream coverage of this Vitality Blast match. Kent Spitfires against Middlesex. The Spitfires requiring 161 to win and to keep their hopes of the qualification and the knockout stages alive. Myself, Dave Fulton, and Cameron Emmanuel Burns bringing you the coverage. Thanks to Daniel Bell-Drummond for his contribution to the first half of the match. Tawanda Miyeye and Harry Finch. No Bell-Drummond, of course, because of that hamstring strain. That is a big loss. And Tawanda Miyeye on Friday night was out first ball, so he will want to get back to doing what he does best, which is putting bat to ball. And he missed a straight one from Craig Overton, played over the top of it, and he was gone first ball. And he's going to be the left armour, Noah Cornwell, to open the bowling for Middlesex. Does swing the ball very much in the Fred Klassen mould, that kind of pace, looks to bend it back in to the right-hander. And Kent's 11 batters all right-handed.
Yes, that's a good point with no Rogers in the side. Safagohar's probably, well, actually also Holman's leg spinner, so all their spinning options will be turning it away from the Kent right-handers.
Yep, good matchups for them. But I think Kent will be pretty happy with the size of this target as things stand right now. This one is down the leg side of the wide. So Middlesex's game against Hampshire. And Noah Cornwell, who I think is a really decent young prospect, left arm quick, swings it. Had a bit of a stinker. He was expensive in his first 2 overs, came back really well, and then in his last over, 2 balls remaining, he'd already bowled a waist-high full toss, which was called a no ball in one of his early overs. He tried to slow a ball at the back of the hand. It went past the batsman head high. It was Beamer. This one is driven back to him, and wants a quick single here. He's going to have to hurry, as is Finch. But he's home. Yeah, so Cornwell went the slow ball out the back of the hand. It went past the batter at head height, bounced in front of the keeper, skipped past him, went for 4, no balls, so 6 to the total. 3 hits. That went for 6, but it wasn't bowled by him. It was bowled by Lewis Deploy because he was out of the attack. Deploy had to bowl 1 ball, little left arm spinner. Aiming got thumped for 6, so those 2 deliveries went for 12, and Gloucestershire got up with a couple of balls remaining. And that little moment there, that full toss that went past the head, the poorly executed slow ball, probably cost Middlesex that game. So interesting to see how he bounces back. They did beat Gloucestershire the other night. That win, of course, Hampshire, not Gloucestershire. My apologies. That's a nice start for Harry Finch. A conventional clip off the toes for 4. So Cornwell does swing it in, but that's sometimes the disadvantage of finding that swing. You can drift onto the pads. He did so here. Good shape for 4.
Well, Finch has had obviously a really interesting campaign. Started it out of the side, came in around that number 6 period, and then with Denley's injury, he got pushed up the order to 3, and now obviously with Deeves gone, he's opening.
Yeah, he's driving this one. Toe of the bat, no run.
Of course, again.
He's a versatile cricketer, isn't he, Harry Finch? I mean, obviously he keeps. He's a very good fielder, as we saw today. 2 brilliant catches. He's quick across the ground. He's got a good arm on him. But you say he's kind of up and down that order. No Zach Crawley, who started the campaign at 3, and he's plugging that. He has plugged that gap. As you mentioned, Joe Denley went out with injury, and now he's opening up. And it's nicely played. Still a nice late defensive push. And 3 for 1.
And of course, the last time I saw him, he belted a 50.
Yeah, quick 550, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Against his old Chargers, Sussex. He would have enjoyed that. And I think that's has given him this run in the side and this confidence to go out and play his shots. Feels that he's backed in this competition. Pulled by Miyeye. Just I think a bit of a bottom edge. Good bit of work from Cracknell behind the stumps. Interesting to hear Daniel Bell-Drummond talk about how many players might be missing for the 100. I've got Liam alongside me. I'm thinking Daniel's still waiting to see what happens with him at the moment. He's still here, but he could be a wild card. There's Tawanda Miyeye. He's away. Sam Billings, obviously. I think who else is there? That's it. Yeah, getting the signal that might be it, as Miyeye this time's that one cutter into the pitch. So decent start from Cornwell. Some signs that this is still not the easiest of surfaces. 7 without loss, unscathed after 1. Yeah, so you'd think they could make a pretty decent fist of things, because so many counties will lose 10, 11 players. I think previous years Somerset and Surrey had lost up to 11 players. Well, you're effectively playing against the second team, and Kent will be not at full strength, but not far off.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's a competition they can really aim for. It's a tough one with Deeves, because obviously for his own personal career you want him to do well, but for Ken it'll be a huge coup if he sticks around. And then there's a couple other batters they'll be missing. Great opportunity for some of the youngsters, Ben Dawkins, Jaden Denley, to have a go as well. But the bowling attack will remain rather the same, it seems, by that.
Yeah, not sure what's happening with the overseas players for that competition. As here is Big Tom Helm.
Oh, it's a good start, that, to Finch. He just motions that it's nipped away off the deck. Good first one to receive.
Yeah, he's a canny bowler, Tom Helm. He's got a great slower ball that comes out the back of the hand. But, he employs it a lot. You just think on this surface, if there's a bit in the pitch with the new ball, might be inclined just to thump away on a good length. I think this is the slower ball. I'm calling the slower ball now. I've got it. I'm looking at the knuckle ball. He's pushed it back in his hand. No.
I'm not sure.
No, I think that was an on-pace delivery. That was just trying to disguise it, I think. It's messing with me. I picked this up on commentary the other day. He kind of gets his knuckles behind the ball, pushes the ball right in. The batter can't see it, but of course our camera hones in on it. And I'm thinking, it was a slower ball. And I called it right at Merchant Taylor School, but he did me then. I think he's bluffing. Can't see it from this angle.
I'm going on pace. Oh no, it was a slow ball.
There it was. There's that slower ball, but it deceived Harry Finch. It's a good one. A few Middlesex games over the years, and he's one of the best exponents of it. Tall man, he can hit the pitch pretty hard, so that contrast when he does produce that slower ball, difficult. You've got a split second as a batter. You start your swing a bit too quickly. It's very difficult to kind of break as you're halfway through and go again.
Again, Finch not able to get him away here. So I've often felt that Helm was more of a effective bowler at the end with his slower balls. I've not seen him as much with the new pill, but obviously going well here. But like you say, with those change-ups, really difficult, and with his bounce.
Yeah, he does bowl it with death, and he will have an over or two at the death, I don't doubt. But when batters are looking to come hard in the power play, it's another good time to use the variation. So we saw Gilchrist start with a maiden. Can Helm do something similar?
Pushing the single.
Always a misfield.
Should be two there.
Get two.
Yeah, Mia is quick. He'll get back. Good pressure putting in the field has been good. Even in previous over, that little dab one from Finch.
Yeah, I think disappointed there. Right, mid-on-fieldsman. Opportunity for Ryan Higgins, a good fielder. Clean pick up. He struck it firmly off the back foot. Did Finch. There might have been a shot at the bowler's stumps.
And there's that slow ball again, deceiving Finch, wafting outside the off stump, and that's the end of the over. Just two from the first one from Helm.
Yeah, very good over. That's what Tom Helm is all about. On-pace delivery, whistling past the outside edge, and then the change-ups. A couple of slow balls in that over. Bowls it a lot. Nice little breeze coming through the gazebo here. Marquee. It's another scorchio day, isn't it? You can see people fanning themselves there. They have the sun staring them squarely in the face. But, interestingly, I did a bit of hospitality at Lord's on Thursday and Friday, and the amount of people that keeled over due to sunburn and sunstroke was quite extraordinary, I think. A few beers involved as well. There was a lot of dehydration in NW8. Here's Ryan Higgins. Mentioned him on commentary when he's fielding that he's a bustling medium pacer, a useful all-rounder. Started his career at Middlesex, had a really successful stint at Gloucestershire, but now back at his home county. He's one of their main men, that's for certain. Always seems to impact a game. Yeah, trying to line him up. It's going to be a wide. Stretch arms of Martin Saggers. He knows a thing or two about bowling from the pavilion end. That's where he used to operate for the bulk of his county career. And the bowler he was a pleasure to stand at slip to, watching the ball curve away from the outside edge. Higgins in again. So is driven not off the middle of the bat by Mieye, bit of a miscue. Get through for a single.
Yeah, both Kent batters struggling to pick ball up on this wicket. Perhaps it's got a bit tacky. Haven't quite got their timing yet, either of them so far.
Yeah, I think it's dry. I think Daniel said that these wickets, it's a fresh deck, but it's very dry. We've obviously had the women's game on it earlier. It wouldn't change too much over the course of a day, but if it starts dry, we're not going to get any easier. So he wants a sharp single here. Finch is going to get one.
You just feel they're waiting for that one release shot from somewhere. Get one away to the boundary, especially Mieye here.
Yeah, Mieye 2 from 5, Finch 8 from 10. And not the start you expect from these Kent openers. Just an indication that the pitch is tricky. Nicely timed off the back foot. This picks out a deep point. Feels just a single. Yeah, good bit of work. Nicely fielded. Josh Little at that short third man / kind of fly slippy type area. Outside edge can easily run away, but he dived and stopped it. Denley at 3. Scored 100 against Middlesex a couple of years back on a Sunday afternoon. Conditions a bit gloomier than this. Shout of no from Finch. So another decent over, this time from Higgins. So tough going out in the middle. It's a 160, which we thought was below par. So now looking pretty competitive. It's the early signs in this reply. Power play is usually when Kent would like to get ahead of the rate. Current rate is 4.7, required rate 8.7. So Middlesex coming off that win against Gloucestershire after the disappointment of losing the other game at Merchant Taylor School to Hampshire. They're pretty decent this year. Middlesex kind of always sort of underachieved in T20 cricket. They did, of course, win the competition against Kent down in Southampton at the Ageas in 2008. Brilliant tight finish that was. A cracking game of cricket. They haven't done much in this short form of the game. There's a feeling that this side has been a lot more competitive, even though they are at the bottom of the group.
Cornwell back on. And that's the shot we've been looking for from Finch. Quickly onto that pull. There's a man patrolling out a deep square, but he's way in front of him, and that's away for 4. Good solid shot that from Finch. Hopefully will perk him off a touch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drag down from Cornwell that. His stock in trade is to pitch it up and swing it. And they've got a man back at deep point and a man back at deep square. So those two fielders would suggest that he's going to try and hit the pitch, but he's got a bit of pace, but he's not express. He's got to be careful of that length.
Again, shorter this time. Finch can't get it through the gap and no run. Be interesting because it's not just obviously Deebs' batting and his runs that we're losing from this Kent side, but it's that partnership with Mieye. And I imagine for a young player, Mieye, it's crucial having that stability at the other end. It's hard to really quantify that, but with Deebs being out of the side, I wonder what impact that does have on Mieye.
Yeah, I think it's an understanding. It's running between the wickets. It's those little chats that you have mid-wicket.
Beating,
yeah, playing this from Finch, tricky out there. Yeah, it's a good question, and you're right. It is tough to quantify, but as someone that was, enjoyed the opening partnerships in the championship with Rob Key for a number of years and others, there are people that you prefer to bat with, and people that you feel more comfortable with. Now, obviously, when you're facing up against a bowler, it's you against the bowler, and you're not too worried about who's at the other end. But it's just those subtle things, that understanding between the wickets, that little bit of a pep talk that you sometimes need because you know each other's games so well.
Off the back foot, driven nicely. Just the one out to that sweeper on the cover boundary.
We're playing a championship game actually against Middlesex. A sweep away off, I think, Jamie Dalrymple, which just crept over square leg and kind of trickled down the hill for 4. Keezer came down, he said, "What was that?" I said, "What do you mean? It's gone for 4. He goes, "Well, just." He said, "If you're going to hit it," he said, "hit it. Have some conviction about it." And he was right. I was being too careful with it. And the next one that landed in that spot, I crunched it for 6 over square leg. And it's those things. It's knowing how to talk to your guy at the other end. And he knew my game, I knew his, and we were very comfortable telling each other what to do.
Oh, the AA. Innovation from him, picked up on the length, scooped over fine leg.
Yeah, I think this is 4. I saw it bounce just inside the rope. Okay. So the signal. Ben Debenham just waiting and checking with the fielders, but yeah, it is 4. But a cracking shot from Tawanda Miyeye. A couple of boundaries in this over, exactly what the Spitfires needed.
Yeah, especially Miyeye, who's not had much of the strike, only 8 balls so far. And that was his first boundary. Well caught up with the ball as well. And that's brought about a change in the field. Now both boundary riders on that leg side. Expect Cornwall to go nice and straight to Miyeye. No, he does. He just cramps him up. And no run.
So Middlesex finish with a dot ball. It's an over for the Spitfires. 23 without loss. It's nicely balanced, this game at the moment. Batting does not look straightforward. Sun-drenched Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. The fans enjoying their time here. Music belting out. They'll be nervous. They know that Kent's fate hangs in the balance. Can't afford to lose this one, the Spitfires. Win here, win on Friday against Essex. Hope results go their way elsewhere. So far, so good on that front. Hampshire going well against Sussex. Okay, he's just going to check the other game of interest, which is Gloucestershire Glamorgan.
Yeah, Glamorgan 135 for 8.
So James Venz is from the helm. Swung away leg side, it's a fielder there. It's gone over his head for 6. So Finch latching onto that short one as well. On-pace delivery from Tom Helm. Swung away. Thought just for a second it was going straight down the throat of long leg, but over it goes. And that is a maximum for Harry Finch.
Yeah, good news for Kent here. They're now 9 down Glamorgan, requiring 40 off the final 2 overs.
Yeah, they're not going to get those. So it looks like it is what the doctor ordered from the Spitfires' perspective in terms of Glamorgan and Sussex. So if Kent win this, those 2 sides go down. They will move into that final qualification spot. But there's a big job to be done here first. And there's a bit of a heave across the line from Harry Finch. Doesn't get hold of this one. Yeah, I just think it was, Daniel Bill Drummond alluded to it, didn't he, on commentary, that it was such a big fillip for those guys to walk off the park having lost the other night, to then find out that their nearest competitors had also come unstuck. It just meant that the equation hadn't changed too much for Kent. They were still in the hunt. He's got hold of this one, Finch, as well. She's behind square. It's going to be a couple of runs. Fielder dives and stops it. A few jeers from the crowd, but I don't think will threaten the rope.
Yeah, in front of the beer tent, it's been open all day.
Yeah,
good support for the Kent.
Beers and a hot sun.
Yeah,
it's a heady combination. And, quite partisan, our crowd. Yeah, Glamorgan have lost, so Gloucestershire good up. Glamorgan bowled out for 135. And Hampshire just need 1 run to win.
That's going to be, that'll be gone for 4.
And Finch hits another boundary. As, well, I was going to say Hampshire hit the winning runs. They don't hit the winning runs because Tyrone Mills has bowled a dot. But they're 167 for 4. They need 1 more run, and they have 3 overs to get it. So Hampshire going to win.
And that means
Gloucestershire have won. Kent win this, they move 4th. It's as simple as that.
And Glamorgan's final game is against Middlesex.
There you go. So Kent's fate beginning to rest in their own hands as Finch punches attractively. He's going to get another boundary here. A couple of swats into the leg side and then a cut shot. Stood tall, made the most of that height. And they timed it away from backward point for another boundary. So decent over this, following on from that pull ball over. Watchful start from Kent's openers, but just starting to tick now.
Yeah, too much width given that time from Hellman. Delightfully put away. Climbed all over that one, Finch.
There's the slow ball. Sometimes you think the bowler's got such good slow ball. It's almost like, why go away from it? Just keep bowling the slow ball. I always think the same when they bowl the kind of 90 mile an hour that whistles past the outside edge. If someone's not good enough to hit the quicker ball, keep bowling the quicker one. If they can't pick the slower ball, keep bowling the slower one. I'm no bowler. It just seems like common sense, but hey ho. Decent over for Spitfires. 39 without loss after 5. And it looks like mainly Harry Finch.
Yeah, going well again, and it looks like it will be the Irish international Josh Little coming to finish off the power play. The Middlesex bowls good wheels here, left armour.
All over in Southampton. James Vince, Hampshire's T20 captain, white ball only these days, of course, finishing 98 unbeaten. So disappointed he didn't bring up 3 figures. He won't care that much.
Oh, sharp that from Mieye, climbed all over it. Hits it so far in front of square. It's almost hit us here off the back foot. Trademarked that of Twanda Mieye, just using that pace from Josh Little. A couple bounces into the boundary rope.
Yeah, I mean, these bowlers will know can battle strength. And Josh Little should know that Twanda Mieye is electric on anything back of a length or short. We saw the other night Craig Overton bowl full and knock him over.
Yep.
Susceptible at all it is to the fuller delivery. If you run in and bowl that length, he's likely to put you away. So Little needs to learn from that.
He doesn't, he goes short again.
Yeah, it's just not the place to bowl to Wanda Mieye. He's gone 4 and 6, and after a slow start, bang bang, he is off and running, and the Spitfires are suddenly well in front of this game.
And it's full 49 now up for the Spitfires. With 4 balls left in this power play. Just the start they needed, just to give him calm some nerves.
But it's a tough over to bowl, the 6th. Which is what we were talking about in the first half of the game. That's what was so special about Nathan Gilchrist. I think he bowled, that was the maiden, the 6th over.
Crunched again, this time straight to the fielder out. Just be the one. A little bit of a misfield, but that's set for 1.
Ooh, strange option. Strange option for Little to just keep dropping it short. 50 up for the Spitfires in decent time. It just shows, doesn't it, how quickly you can catch up the rate. I mean, Kent were less than to run a ball off 4 overs, and suddenly halfway through the 6th, you've gone to 50.
Yeah. Good bit of pace there.
Yes, 23 without loss after 24 balls.
Yeah.
And then 9 balls later. So 27 in 9 balls, following on from 23 and 24 balls. It shows you how quickly things change with boundaries.
What's always remarkable in T20 cricket is that momentum. As soon as a few balls go away, partnerships growing. They look so much more confident out there. Again, Mieye quick onto that pull. I think that's going to be going all the way. It has. It's drifted over the boundary rope. That's another 6 for Mieye in this over. Kent motoring along here in this power play.
Yeah, look, far be it for me to criticise Josh Little, who, you know, I'm no bowler, but I mean, it is not the cleverest piece of bowling I've ever seen. Twanda Mieye, who is well known now for his pull stroke. Anything short he dispatches. You know, Josh Little has pace, but he's at his best when he's pitching it up and he's swinging it back, but like Noah Cornwell into the stumps, and he's thumping it into a surface that is sluggish. He's putting pace on the ball, and Mieye is just helping himself.
A touch full of that time, but still on the leg side. Clipped away, should be an easy 2 for Mieye.
Yep, still leg side and still back of a length. So a little slightly better on that delivery, but that is a big one. Big over for the Spitfires, expensive from Little. He might just have a little blow. Get the spinners on would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I was thinking that. This will be where the game is, I think. For Middlesex, how effective can these spinners be? Jack Leaning went well for Kent. Parkinson looked effective until the left-handed deploy really got hold of him. And of course, they've got the leg spinning option who's coming on now in Holman, and we've got no left-handers to take advantage of that. So it'll be interesting to see how Kent go here.
Holman, former England under-19 man. Established first team cricket at Middlesex for a while now. Fond memories of playing against Kent at Championship 100 at Lords earlier in the season. It's probably just about his strongest suit. He's a genuine all-rounder these days. Good reverse sweep, a powerfully built man. Got a wrong one with him, on him. And Finch watchful. So Josh Little's over cost him 20 runs. That has really turned the game in the Spitfires' favour. 59 without loss. Reverse sweep from Finch. And he's going to get forward to see what the signal is. Yeah, it's runs. Just a little bit of a bottom edge, just using the pace. Holman does bowl it quite quickly, so it's not a bad option. And you think someone like Parkinson, who bowls his leg breaks really slowly, those have a lot of pace to work with, so behind the wicket is not such a good option. But when someone fires it in quite quickly like Holman as a spinner, those little deflections run away for 4. Just an extra cover, no run could come back from Holman. Just a reminder that Kent's final game, Battle of the Bridge, Essex on Friday night. Tickets.kentcricket.co.uk for that one. Over 80% sold already for what could be a crucial match, final match of the group stage. Kent win this and they have it all to play for. In fact, go so far as saying they have their fate in their own hands, because they've got into 4th spot. Sussex can retake that spot with winning their game in hand, but it'll only be on net run rate. So Kent win well against Essex, and whatever Sussex do, it's, suddenly masters of their own destiny. They've got a bit of work to do here first, though, as Holman's into Miyeya, who drives attractively up to long off. I think it will just be the single. Throw comes in, yep, just the one, but another decent over for the Spitfires. And 65 without loss.
And yeah, so Sussex, obviously I said earlier, they've got Surrey on Friday, but before that they've got Gloucestershire midweek, who of course have just done us a big old favour against Glamorgan, so they're in a bit of form themselves. But regardless, if we get over the line here, as you say, I think this pretty much will be in our hands, you'd like to think.
It's been a funny South group, isn't it? Because you wouldn't have expected Essex to have been as bad as they have. As 2020 cricket, you're talking about momentum. There's momentum within games, there's momentum within tournaments. We've seen it with Kent. You know, you win a game and you win a competition, and the next year you finish bottom of the log. It can happen. And Essex have come unstuck this year. But they're a dangerous side, and Kent won't take them lightly come Friday. They've beaten Surrey. They have it. They have some talented players. They have it within them to win games of cricket. But if you look at the two top sides, Somerset and Surrey, I think by some distance have been the best teams. And the table doesn't generally lie. Somerset, I thought, were excellent on Friday night, and that was even with the injury to Tom Banton, which is a bad one. And Surrey have been good. They've beaten the Spitfires twice. One particularly tight game at the Oval.
Safako now, the left arm off spinner coming on from Acton Road end. Yeah, just working away for one. I completely agree. The top two have seen a bit of a league of their own. But it's malaise between positions 3 to 6, I'd say. Maybe Middlesex being just outside of that.
Yeah.
It's been very tight. Anyone can beat anyone.
It's been tight, and the teams have beaten each other. Obviously, I think we only played Hampshire once. We beat them here. But they've been decent. They started really well. They won their first 3 games, fell away a bit, and they've put a little run together at the back end, which is their preferred way of doing things.
Oh, in the air, and he's gone, Finch. Similar to the leaning wicket earlier. Just held up in perhaps a touch there from Gohar's, turning it away from him. He's gone to chip it down the ground. He's just chipped it up in the air, and Gohar's taken a bit of a smart catch there, and Finch goes 36 from 28. A good start that from Finch. Got the innings up and rolling, but he'd be disappointed to get out when he did.
Yeah, really good contribution from Harry Finch. Just trying to knock that one to long on. Left arm spinner, just getting a bit of grip in the surface. There is that danger that you just bunt it back to him, which is what happened. Maybe gone through the offside, easy game from here when you've been retired for 20 years. But yeah, just outside off stump, just to kind of roll the wrists and knock it to long on rather than maybe just going to deep point. But he's played a fine hand, Harry Finch. Really good effort that. And it brings the experience, the 39-year-old, the senior statesman of this Kent side, Joe Denley, still fit as a fiddle. Still in really good touch. And he has previous against Middlesex, who he played for, of course, for 3 years. So quite a few new faces in the Middlesex side since then. He's had good success against them. One of his T20 came on this ground on a Sunday afternoon a few years back against them. So let's see what Denley can do.
Nice stride into the ball. Can't beat past that point. Yeah, off the mark, Mr. Denley.
Just a hint of spin from Zafar Gohar, former Gloucestershire man. Terrific bowler. Mixes his pace up, but he will spin it.
I guess he's actually going against the slope a touch, whereas Holman's been given the end that Parkinson normally bowls from. Use of the feet already from Denley. It's clean. It's huge. Into the side screen 6. What a shot. What a way to start your innings. Bit of turn, he says, no matter. Use his feet, and delightful shot down the ground from Mr. Denley.
Yeah, the very best of Joe Denley on ball 2. He's so good at using his feet. Brilliant player straight back down the ground. And he likes to get on with it from the off. Dancing down. Real conviction in that. And the maximum straight away.
Oh, there's again. Oh. Supposed to use his feet. Zafar Gohar zaps that one in. And this time he bunts it back to the bowler, who feigned to throw it back. Just kind of want Denley just to tuck one in. Get off strike here. Started well. Uses the feet again and he goes for it, but straight Tom Helm there. Mid-wicket. But an over which saw Kent lose its first wicket. Yet still a pretty successful one for the Spitfires, with them 72 for 1 after 8 now.
So it looks like Holman's going to continue double spin. Key part of this game. Dry surface, sun beating down all day. Middlesex hoping their spinners can start to turn the screw, but Joe Denley, he's in the mood. Pulling is Miyeye. There's a man back there, but it doesn't matter because he's not in the car park. I talked about how strong he is on the pull stroke to Josh Little. Doesn't matter if it's seam or spin. You drop short to him and he will punish you. Another maximum to Miyeye.
Yeah, not the best delivery that from Holman, of course. Again, he's, like I say, a lot quicker than Parkinson. Totally the wrong length there, especially to Miyeye, so quick.
Yeah, it's nicely bowled. That one was probably a forward length. He went back to it in the end, but he came back for 2. The inside half of the bat. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone as quick on the pull for a long time as Tawanda Miyeye. He's like he sets himself for that back of a length. Sometimes that can cost you when the ball's slightly fuller. You don't quite get into your drive, but if you do get that length you're looking for, Means he's quickly into position, and some batters will be pulling it for 1 or 2. He's hitting it out the park. Such a talented player. Then he'll be looking straight back over Holman's head here. The advantage with that early 6 in the over enable the batters just to tick it around. Hit hard again off the back foot, this time through the covers. With a cut shot. The required rate is just a shade over 7, so well within their compass currently. 9.35, so that slightly sluggish start. A couple of big overs, particularly the one against Josh Little. They've got Kent ahead of the 8 ball here. Enabling Denley just to defend. Just wait for the one to hit. Just a reminder, if Kent win this, they will go 4th in the South Group, that final qualification spot they will occupy. Sussex with their game in hand against Gloucestershire, and then it is all on next Friday night. So Denley punches through the offside and they get a single.
Yeah, an easy 10 off that over with the 6 off the first ball. And you're just needing 7s. Any boundary that comes makes the over to the 9. Yeah, Kent really don't have to push it against the spin, which is a luxury, seeing as how well they played the seamers earlier.
Yeah, and we're seeing Ryan Higgins, I think, come back into the attack. That 6 from Joe Denley. And Safagohar got the wicket. They know how strong Denley is down the ground, but he signalled his intent by dancing down and smoking that one. And sometimes you get a feeling as a captain, you talk about the matchups and actually you don't mind the ball spinning away, but when a guy comes down and he just thumps your #1 spinner straight into the sight screen and makes it look so easy, it gets you thinking about bowling changes. So Higgins back into the attack, maybe Gohar switch of ends for him with the slope.
Yeah, clipped into the onside, and they should get back for 2 pretty simply. I wonder if we'll see Safagohar from the pavilion end, in fact, using that slope. As you quite rightly say, Denley was looking pretty eager against him every ball actually in the over. He used his feet to him. But since he hit that 6, so yeah, maybe deploy, just had the feeling, let's get him out of the attack for now. Put the all-rounder Higgins back in. Yeah, again, the luxury of such a small run rate. They can just block and defend and take the easy ones on offer. No need to push it at this stage. As Denley gets himself into his work here. On this glorious sunny day, it's not just the Kent faithful out, but there's a huge flock of seagulls all overhead. They're interested to see how Kent go. Again, taps into the offside. They'll be thinking about 2. Yeah, quick turnaround. And back easily. Yeah, good work running that from the Kent boys, and well applauded that. And the Kent faithful all around.
Yeah, Joe Denley's 39 years of age. There aren't many cricket between the wickets, and as soon as Tawanda Mingeye bunted that in the leg side, the key really was the angle. It came straight on a line towards us, and we are in the gap, deep mid-wicket and long on. And he didn't hit it too hard, he just placed it in the gap, and Denley was touching in and out, and he made 2 look very straightforward.
Again, they'll be thinking of 2. And once again, easily done. Good misfield there. Yeah, they're considering it. They're going for the 3.
Yep, going to get the 3. The backing up was, well, there was someone backing up. It was actually a misfield from the fielder who was backing up, and it deflected into a gap. So even though Tawanda Mingeye ran a long way past the stumps, he was able to get back. So really good bit of running. No boundaries in this over, but plenty of runs being scored.
in the air. Dropping short there of the fielder. I think that's Cornwall out there. McCow running in. Dropping just short. Just the one that for Denley. Heart in his mouth for a second.
Yeah, just rehearses the stroke. He knows that the guy's back on the deep mid-wicket fence, so just practicing getting his hands a bit higher and hitting the ball down. Just the hands were a bit low. He helped it up. And probably just as well he didn't time it as well as he normally does. He might have helped it straight down his throat. So just rehearsing a little mental note to keep the ball down. Doesn't really need to lift it, needing only 6.89 and over.
Dug in that time from Higgins and just rocking onto the back foot and knocking it on his head for one. That's, I believe that's 9-10 off the over without a boundary in it.
Yeah.
So perfect that for
really
Kent.
good risk-free batting from the Spitfires. I think if that had been earlier in the piece, you might have seen Yaya go up and over the field and look to hit it for 6, but very aware that Kent well in charge of this match now. 69 to win from 60 balls, just the 1 wicket down. It should be a walk in the park from here. Just trying to find some wood to touch, so it should be pretty straightforward. And in that situation as a batter, you don't need to take too many risks with the running. You don't need to look to hit it up over the fielders who are out on the boundary. That damage has already been done, so you can chip it around.
I'm in Deploy's head. I knew it'd be going. I knew it.
You knew that was happening. Zafar Gohart from the pavilion end, so you think he's very much the key on this dry surface. Infield, 2 behind square on the offside, an extra cover playing tight, and that is, I think, edged for 4. So not a lot of luck for Middlesex on that occasion yet. Martin Saga signals 4. It's an off drive from the A8, bit of spin, and he snicked it to the boundary. So
by now, you're going to be aware that I like my stats, Mr. Fulton. And the Yaya has brought up 400 runs in this season. He's been superb for us at the top of the order. Really coming of age season, it seems.
driving attractively again is Tawanda Miye. That's 401 runs. So nicely played cover drive. Brings Denley down onto strike. It's 12 off 10. Miye 47 off 24. So after that slow start, he's really motored, helped by that Josh Little over. But then he's swatting away, but extra cover fields is no run. Lovely shot from Joe Denley, just chipping it straight. I'm not sure it'll go there. Yes, it does. It goes all the way. Beautiful strike. Did not look to overhit it. Just straight shot. Brings up the 100 for the Spitfires, and decent time as well. And you saw that 6 when Gohar was bowling from the other end. This time he just checked his shot just to control it. See the truncated follow through. Just a little chip back over the bowler's head. No danger. And that fielder at long off was really wide, as tends to be the way here because of the slope at the Spitfire Ground. So big gap over the bowler's head, exploited beautifully by Joe Denley. Come back from Zafar Gohart. Slower one, and that one fired in quickly. But Kent won't mind too much. They are fully in control of this run chase. 60 to win off 54. You think only 3 or 4 quick wickets can turn the game Middlesex's way. Decent bowling performance by the Spitfires. And restricting Middlesex to 160. And 61 the target, and thanks to quick fire innings from Harry Finch and now to Wanda Miye. Kent fans will be pretty happy with how their team is placed.
Maybe Josh Little coming back on from Acton Road end, as you say, he's his first over, his only over so far. Did go the distance at 20.
Yeah. It was the last over of the power play, wasn't it? Little's first over, and that's often the most expensive. He's got at least the cover now back. So he's got 3 fielders back on the deep leg side boundary. So right of screen, there's 3 men back, one in front of the cafe, one at deep square, one at deep mid wicket as Little comes in.
It's nudged on top of his head, easily guided away for 1 down to 3rd man. Yeah, going up 2 away from his half century.
So those 3 men back might just encourage Little. I think if you're going to bowl the bouncer, Joe Denley's another good player of the short ball and the pull stroke. I think he's faced in Test cricket the likes of Stark and Cummins and Hazelwood. Little's not going to worry him too much, but he's 39 now. Fielder comes up actually at deep mid wicket, so they need to stop the singles, Middlesex. So that fielder coming into the circles, Luke Holman.
He's still donning the arm guard, of course, after that injury.
Yeah, he did get his arm broken earlier in the season. That was a short ball straight at his throat, which he intercepted with the old forearm. This time he's cutting away. That's a great shot. He's giving himself a little bit of room, using Little's pace. And he's been really expensive, the left armour.
Yeah, delightful shot that from Joe Denley. Getting on top of that one. Too much width. Oh, yeah, lovely. Great foot movement into the ball.
In fairness to Little, it wasn't a disastrous delivery, was it? It was Denley giving him, so he kind of knows he's going to thump it into the pitch. So with those men back on the leg side, he just gave himself a bit of room at the last split second. Little couldn't adjust and cuts it for 4.
Similar area, I don't think it's timed quite as well. Yeah, just the 1 this time. Do you keep going hard here if you're this partnership?
Yeah, I think you've got to. I think net run rate is going to be a factor, isn't it? I mean, it could easily be in the final shake-up. You know, we don't know quite what Sussex are going to do in their game in hand, but if Kent and Sussex finish level on points,
yeah,
or Kent and Glamorgan, I don't know what the weather's going to be. Well, I think it's going to be scorcher, but you know, you can have a tied game. One of these teams on Friday. I'll just look at the table in a second.
Build quickly. He's going to have scamper. He does. But misfield again with the backing up. Not quite as clean for Middlesex there. It doesn't cost them any extra this time. Yeah, up to 49 now.
Yeah, so Kent will go 2 points beyond Glamorgan and 4 points in front of Sussex with a win here. But Sussex have that game in hand, so I think Kent and Glamorgan unlikely to finish on the same number of points. But if Sussex win their game in hand, Kent and Sussex could.
An easy single there for Denley. It's knocking on his head. He's watching Williamson.
And so Kent and Sussex, if they finish level on points, I mean that the net run rate, and Liam has got the net run rates up for me. It's very decent of him. So yeah, Kent currently minus 0.528. That will improve with victory here. Sussex plus 0.165. So that is not an insignificant net run rate difference, but if Kent win and win well here, that gap will narrow. So in answer to your question, you want to win here, but you want to win well, and you want to win well on Friday. Give yourself the best chance of closing that gap. And Sussex at the moment still with the upper hand, courtesy of that game in hand.
And with that nudge, Tonamiea goes to another 50 in this T20 Plus competition. After a few low scores, of course, the first bowler against Somerset on Friday. This will be important for him, just to bounce back. And a really, really tidy 50 this for Kent. What is such a crucial game.
Yeah, he's a class act to Tonamiea. He's such a talented player. He's played beautifully here. I think he's been helped a little bit, in truth, by some short pitch bowling from Middlesex, particularly Josh Little. They've kind of fed his pull stroke. Even Holman dropped one short, tested him out, but he has swatted a lot through mid wicket and square leg with a horizontal bat shot, so bowled particularly well to him. But he has played quite beautifully, taking nothing away, and that's 2020, isn't it? 101 game, first ball of the next, 50 the next. Good effort. Here's Holman, and he's cutting this time, forcing off the back foot, just get a single deep point. runs to win decreasing almost to the rate of a runner ball, just a shade over that at the moment, 50 off 47. Should be a walk in the park. But Nelson up 1-1-1 for 1. Cameron, no one likes that. Only down the wicket, and I think he's changed that with a 6. Waiting for the umpire. See Martin Saggers, yeah, he's lifting his arms. So no such superstitious thoughts for Joe Denley, just advances, and you say how he loves to use his feet to the spinners. So strong down the ground. Just rehearses it again. Good swing of the bat. It's a big hit down there. It's not a small ground, the Spitfire Ground. So he knows every corner, and that is another maximum to him. So he's starting to motor as well. 28 off 18. And 17 for 1. And we are now below a runner ball required.
Yeah, all season he hasn't got one of his notorious big totals. Don't think he's got past 50 this year. But he's been super effective with these cameos coming in. A few 40s, a few like these 28s, strike rate of
yeah,
plus 150.
Right from the off, wasn't it? Did so at Bristol game 1. Coming in after the likes of Miaye, Bell Drummond and Crawley have played so well. And just goes from the off. That's what I like about Joe Denley. Didn't take too much time. We saw today, second ball, down the wicket, bang, 6. 39, you think he might need a few balls just to get the eyes adjusted, but not a bit of it. It's a hole on his ear. This time he's sweeping. It's not his strength. Can sweep, but so much better down the ground. He's trying to mix it up. There was a big gap at square leg. That's what he was looking for. What I like about the way Joe's played this year as well. He's always looking to expand his game, improve his game. We saw last year a few reverse scoops that he got out to. Something he'd been working on all winter, adding an extra dimension to his game as he drills this one to long on. It'll just be the single. And I know that frustrated one or two because he just scooped it to short third man and then tucked his bat under his arm and kind of walked off. And I think he's got so many other options. Why premeditate and get out to a little soft scoop? But I think what it shows is the player in the back end of his career who's willing to learn, who's willing to try new things. And he tried it. It didn't work. It looks like he's put it away this year. He's gone back to more conventional methods, striking it back over the bowler's head, playing to his strengths. Quick single here. Nice run from Denley, backing up Miaye. He's asking for a change of gloves, so we're going to get a quick drink as well. It's a really good day this is turning out to be for the Spitfires. Remember, not so good for the horses. Women losing to Middlesex earlier on this historic day, the first double-header. Kent men and women on the same day. Record crowd for the women, 1,492. A few more in now for the men's game. They have had a basin full of quality cricket. Kent are doing really well here. They can get themselves, as things stand, into that 4th position. The kids seem to love it.
Yeah, Zafagoa changing ends again, this time coming back on from left to road, and of course this is the one where Denley quickly scampered down and put him into the sight screen. You imagine if he gets the chance, he'll be doing the same again.
Yeah, slog sweep an option here as well. Mid-wicket is in. It's Middlesex have to try and stop a single. Extra covers in tight as well. Mid-off. Trying to stop a single. It's not going to be easy. But they've done just that. Yeah, fielder at mid-off, as you can see how close extra cover, backward point, mid-off are. Just deploy, insisting that those guys play tight, stop the single. So often in T20 cricket, singles are given up, prevent boundaries, but Middlesex not afforded that luxury in this position.
Goes for the sweep. Appeal there. Already outside the line.
Well, he's going to run away. I think it's 4 leg byes. 4 runs. Oh, signal is run, so maybe a little bit of glove in there. It was a big sweep. It went very fine, so whatever it hit Miaye's bat or glove. I'm trying to look at this replay. Got a long way across, so you can understand why Gohar and Cracknell were up appealing. But can't be LBW if you get a bit of bat or glove on it. Another boundary to Miaye. He's having a stellar 2025 blast. It's a miscue. It's going to spin. Yeah, trying to hit that over mid-off. I'll say over mid-off. Long off his back. They've got two men. Interesting field here. It's four on the leg side. They've got a deep point, long off, and a couple of men in the cover region. I'll stop the single.
This time Denley goes backwards instead of forwards with his scampering down the wicket and is able to get that one away past the diving Helm there for one.
Yeah, it's important. I think I've said this before on commentary, when you're using your feet, being able to come down the wicket, but then also being able to use your crease and get right back, use the depth of your crease, which gives you more time to play off the back foot. And because Gohar's nervous about Denley coming down the wicket, he's done it with such a plomb, he can then find it more. He can find it easier off the back foot.
So comfortable with the balls remaining that he's just popped that one out from the AA. And the required rate under 6 now. No need to do anything silly. Turn?
Yeah, Gohar's been unlucky here. I mean, he's been struck for a couple of boundaries, but you just wonder, it's a bye actually, it's turned past everything. Just wonder, you don't usually see a slip in T20 cricket, but you need wickets. You've got a turning surface. Just wonder whether Lewis deployed thinking about a slip. I'm sure he's thinking about it. It's a ballsy move in a T20 match, but at 126 for 1, inclined just to gab on a slip with the left arm spin operating. Beautiful day here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. It's, offices and boardroom up there being well used. Oriole Cafe, no doubt doing a roaring trade. Probably not as good a trade as the ice cream van, I reckon. That's what I feel like. Ice cream van and a cold Pepsi, Coca-Cola, other soft drinks are available.
It's been a sweltering day, I must say. Been out here all day in this box. It'll be all worth it if Kent get over the line here. Setting up next Friday night.
Yeah, all set up for the Battle of the Bridge, final game here. And finishing, of course, with these 3 home games. Somerset, Middlesex today, Essex on Friday. As Helm is swatted by Miaye. For such an elegant player, that was actually quite an ugly shot. It's 2020. Just got on the front foot and baseball batted it back at him. Wide of it, Kent not only want to win this, but win it well because of that net run rate, and they'll be aware of that. Then they're vastly experienced. And they need to send a message out. They'll know that they will win this with 2 or 3 overs to spare. Bouncer from Helm. Not sure if it was a slowable bouncer or not. It's been signalled a wide actually, so I thought clever bit of bowling, but Ryan Sackers has other ideas. He'll have to bowl that one again.
Yeah, the last thing Kent want to do here is take it down to the last over, even if it is a small total needed. As we know, anything can happen.
So straight back at the bowler from Miaye. I'm always a tricky customer. You heard Daniel Bell-Drummond talking about Zach Crawley targeting different bowlers in the opposition, looking to take certain bowlers down. I just wonder whether Kent have thought something similar here. You know, the Cornwells and the Littles, the left armers who are less experienced. Helm's got that slower ball that's tough to pick, and maybe you're a bit more watchful against him to take down the youngsters.
Yeah, looking tougher here against Helm than the left arm seamers of Middlesex. He's got one more over after this one to come, and yeah, respect this one and go harder at the others.
Yeah, well, I think what we're seeing with the likes of Helm, and we've seen it over the years. Ian Harvey back in my day was a brilliant exponent of mixing the pace up. It's so difficult to set yourself against a guy when you're not quite reading how fast it's coming out of his hand, and if you can't pick the slower ball, then you almost have to adjust your swing as the ball's coming down. It's not easy to do. Then he pulls and we go single, so not too much damage done.
Let's be honest, that's where Kent have come unstuck in recent games. Remember Lamb here and Gorvin against Glamorgan. Those bowlers that have the ability to bowl those out the backhand slower balls, or just that variation we've struggled with, especially in those middle overs in recent times.
Yeah, the advantage in this situation, exactly the runner ball required. You can just bunt those slower balls for singles. A little lull in proceedings here. The crowd has gone very quiet. It's not that anyone's especially nervous, I think, at this stage. Just boundaries for a while. Kent try and finish this with a bit of a flourish. Really good from Helm. Excellent work from him. Just a few runs off it, so he's doing his bit for his team. Middlesex's race in this year's Vitality Blast looks like it's run. I think they were mathematically an outside chance. They're still clinging on in the South Group in 2025, but it's not going to be their year once again. A lot of very talented young players. It will be a force in years to come. At the moment, it's all about whether the Spitfires can do their bit and take it down to the final day. Essex on Friday. 80% of tickets sold for that one. Tickets.kentcricket.co.uk. Put yourself down here. It's going to be another beautiful Friday evening under the lights. An important day in Kent's season.
The all-rounder Ryan Higgins coming back onto bowl here at the Nacton Road end.
.32 off 30 is the equation. Try and do this with a couple of overs remaining. So Middlesex just dragging it out, loose deploy, just fiddling with the field, making Kent wait.
Climbed into that one. Just the one bounce out to Zafagoha, patrolling that leg side boundary. If he'd got that touch straighter, he would have gotten all four for that. Again, the short ball ploy, especially from this end, I don't think it's been that successful for Middlesex.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I think generally on a dry pitch, you do look to bowl it into the surface because it comes off at different paces, particularly if you can get a little bit cut on it as you bowl it. But these two are both so adept at the pull stroke, particularly this fella.
Driven. Gets around. Make sure it's just the one. Yeah, I think these two would just be good to get a boundary away here. Let's see one from 10 balls or so.
I think it's one of those that at this stage of proceedings, you generally, in most cricket, you're always looking to see if you can hit the ball for four. It's as risk-free as possible in this situation.
Oh, and there it is from Joe Denley, rocking back. and smearing that one straight. Beautiful shot, couple bounces. Deploy brought the field up, mid on, mid off, up. And there's the boundary we were looking for.
Yep, first boundary for a little while. And definitely climbing into that one. This is the thing. If you come into his or the slot, they're going to look to punish you. Middlesex have had a couple of decent overs, particularly that one from Helm. Good news from a Kent perspective is that when they do bowl well, you could just knock it around. And as soon as they come into the hitting zone, we go.
Driven this time just for the one, slapping that square. What was interesting there was all three fielders on the leg side boundary sprinted in to back up that throw after the few misfields that have been seen from Middlesex. That's the attitude Deploy will be looking for. Up. Has he cleared Deploy? He hasn't. That'll be it for Mieye, looking to do the same as Joe Denley earlier in the over. And this time he can only find the Middlesex skipper, who's running back and takes a smart catch. That ends a fine innings from Tuanda Mieye, 59 from 40.
Yeah, shame from Tuanda Mieye. I'm sure he'd love to be there at the end and see this home, but he's more than played his part. Just after a watchful, some might even say slightly sluggish start, he really started to fire in those middle overs. And at one stage was striking around about the 200. It's been slightly harder of late as Middlesex have taken the pace off. Sam Billings, the new batter, skipper, coming out just to finish things off. Runnable 25 required. Vastly experienced. Kent's two most experienced men at the crease, Joe Denley and Sam Billings. They played it all around the world. They've been in these situations a few times. And they'll know what to do, even though this surface is it's a touch tricky, very dry. And the ball is just sticking in the pitch a little bit.
You feel Billings could do with being there at the end, seeing the side home. It's been a tricky blast campaign for him, as you say, so wildly experienced. It's been a tough one. So it'd be good for him to see his side home here. One thing you can guarantee from Billings is that he'll be busy. Fielders on the ring will have to be alert to him. So yeah, that's the end of the over, 4 to go. Kent 1-3-6 for 2. Leading 25 from 24 deliveries, still absolutely in their hands, but don't want to make a mess of things.
Well, just seeing what the bowling changes here. Just a little back into the attack. You see, I'd go Helm again here. I just think that yeah, that has been expensive, and the problem you've got here for Middlesex is that if this over doesn't work out for little, then Kent are home and hosed. So I'd be bowling my most experienced bowler and someone that's been mighty effective in Tom Helm, and trying to get that runs to win a bit further away from that ball's remaining. And then if Little has to bowl the last over and defend 7, anything can happen. But what you don't want is your best bowler in Tom Helm being left high and dry, game over, and he's still got that one up his sleeve. So here's the game from here, but that's the way I'd be going. That said, if Helm has anything to defend in the last over, you could argue that Lewis Deploy would have got it right. But Kent will be thinking, heard Daniel Bell Drummond earlier, didn't we? We looked to target bowlers, that was Zach Crawley's way, and I think Denley will be looking here at Josh Little and thinking, you're the man who's got to go. He starts well with a dot and a shot at the stumps, and that was not the best option from Luke Holman, because what was a dot has now turned into an overthrow and a single. Just little hands on hips, not overly impressed.
No. The captain killer, that one.
I suppose the other way of looking at this bowling change is that if Little can get away with a quiet over at the new batter, Sam Billings, then this might be the time to bowl him. It's been a bit expensive. 29 his first 2 overs, 20 off his first one. In here bowling to Kent skipper. Down the pitch and striking this. And this could go all the way with mid on and mid off up. He's in pursuit. And it's just beaten him. So not beautifully timed from Sam Billings, but really good intent. And he's looking for a boundary. Can't close again.
It's an intriguing field placement, isn't it? Look how close mid-off is. It's kind of a wide mid-off, but it's in line with the stumps.
Yeah, it's kind of what you might see in a championship field with 3 slips of gully. Your mid-off will be kind of in that position, but what it does enable Billings to do is come down the wicket and be adventurous. I mean, if there had been a conventional mid-off there, he certainly wouldn't have got to the boundary. They might have got a single. And sometimes as a fielding captain, you just got to stick to your guns and take it deep. And he flicks this one over fine leg. Fine leg is back, in fact, but he gets a boundary. So back-to-back 4s for Sam Billings. Little continues to be expensive. And Kent now just needs 16.
I have to say, I find it odd thinking. It's clear what Little's going to be doing. He has to be dug in with the mid-off almost wide and full and close in. And Billings is so adept at using those little ramp shots. He knows what was on its way.
Yeah, well, I think it's one thing bowling to a plan, but if your plan is so obvious and you telegraph it to the batter, then it kind of backfires. This one is hit high, and I think he's going to get away with this, Sam Billings. Good to see the aggression. He's hit it pretty well. Get a couple. It's got a bit underneath it. But this is exactly the way to chase this kind of total. You need to run a ball 25. What you don't want is to suddenly be 3 off 10 and 2 balls up.
Absolutely.
And the pressure keeps coming. They've got plenty of wickets in hand. You chance your arm and you don't come off. Someone else chances their arm. If they don't come off, if someone else chances their arm, and they will come off. What you don't do is hang around chewing up balls. So he's not doing that, Billings. He's pretty swiftly on to 10 off 4. He hasn't had his best campaign, but if he can get Kent through to the knockout stages, he won't give him monkeys. He's all about trying to win this competition again with the Spitfires. It's gone over the offside, and that is going to be 4 more. So this gamble of bringing Little back, and kind of tried to justify it for Lewis to ploy against the new batter, but I always felt Helm was the man. And Little has been mighty expensive. That is wide.
The field placement, though, for me, to be honest with you, that's the 3rd time. That one was timed a bit better, that from Billings, but twice he's really just fainted over.
Well, it's different. When you're captain, they need to run a ball in this form of the game, and teams can regularly chase down 10, 12 and over. You're in a bit of a hide into nothing, both captain and bowler. You know what he's trying to do. He's trying to bowl some dots, but Billings is too good a player. He's just frustrated there. Just looks skywards, because that was probably in the slot to go. But he done the damage early in the over.
Well, you were right, Mr. Fulton. 15 off it. I think, yes, in hindsight, Helm was the better option there.
Yeah, looks like it might be Tom Helm now, but with just 10 to win off 18, it's probably going to be too late.
Imagine, obviously, of course, it was tactical, but I even noticed in the women's game earlier, there does seem to be this inclination to just bowl in 1-over spells. And especially if a batter's in, like Denley and so on. I don't know how much I subscribe to it in all circumstances, but hey-ho.
Well, we saw the other night when Somerset was so successful in the power play. Craig Overton bowled 3 off on the spin. Riley Meredith bowled 2, so 2 bowlers bowled 5 of the 6 power play overs.
Beautiful this from Denley. Won't go all the way, but it will just be 1 bounce into the boundaries. Peppered it many times today. He's waited on, he's leant back, and he's driven it uppishly over mid-off. And that's just Kent just requiring 6 now. But all day, Denley, it's been so strong, straight down the ground. And once again, beautiful stuff from the 39-year-old. Kent will be eager to get this done in this over now. As we've been saying for a while, boost that net run rate. It's going to be crucial coming down to next week.
One big strike away. Can it be Joe Denley to finish things off? He's played quite beautifully. Danced down second ball, popped Zafagohau back over his head, straight into the sight screen. Hasn't looked back since then.
Changing the field now. Boundary riders going straight out for Joe Denley. And he goes for that scoop that you were talking about earlier, which got him into trouble last year.
Well, no, I think it was more of a hook stroke, was it? Or was it a scoop? Did he go reverse scoop?
He went reverse scoop, yeah.
That was, come on, Joe. What are you playing at, son? Can you hear his dad and brother now?
Is that it? I think that's 4. Another glorious shot this time. Again, when he leans back on it, not much foot movement, but his hands going straight through the ball and timing it beautifully. This time over cover, 1 bounce 4. Thought it could have been the game, but not quite. 2 required. Maybe it's setting himself up for his first 50 of the year. He's on 46.
Yeah, he'd be delighted if he could bring up a 50. He just really wants to win the game as quickly as possible. But you talk about leaning back. He says to young players all the time, get your head over the ball, don't lean back, lean into the ball. But he's got that elevation because he's just arching back, and it was nearly a 6 off the back foot over extra cover to win the game. Here we go.
Oh. Well, it was a good response that
It's a
from Tom Helm.
brilliant bit of bowling from Tom Helm. And it just shows his quality, because as well as Joe Denley has played, and he has played quite beautifully, as for all the Kent batters who have been out there today, there's not much you can do with a fast Yorker delivered from Tom Helm's height, 85 plus miles an hour. You're not sure whether it's the slower ball. You might be half setting yourself for his change of pace, and he bowls a rocket ball and uproots middle stump. So cracking bit of bowling from Tom Helm. Can't help but think he should have been bowling the previous over. As I've mentioned, I say it is an easier game when you've been retired 20 years. You haven't made a bad captaincy decision or played a rubbish shot in that time. So it's a much easier vantage point than the one that Lewis Deploy has at the moment. We just see the replay of Denley. Boom, that stump flew out the ground, didn't it? He couldn't get his bat down in time. Cracking bit of bowling. Man was in really good touch, and Joe Denley had no answer to that. Chris Benjamin, the new batsman, he's got the opportunity to hit the winning runs.
First time I'm seeing him live, actually. He was out injured with the shoulder. So
it wasn't in for long on Friday. Got a little cameo. It's a decent touch, but a couple of cracking shots before he missed one. So 85% of tickets have now been sold for Friday night's game against Essex. So do get involved. Tickets.kingcricket.co.uk.
I saw you were selling that.
Well, I am. I'm trying to do my bit for the club. You know.
Are you on commission?
I'm not on commission.
Oh.
No, I just want to see a full house here because I want as many people cheering the Spitfires on as possible. And those of you who can't make it, tune in to our stream coverage, supported, of course, as always, by Cluberly. Thanks to them for their support. But, yeah, if you can get down here, do so. The weather is going to be glorious. It kind of goes without saying in 2025. What a summer it's been. And Kent could sneak into that 4th spot, which would be brilliant.
Well bowled once again from Helm. There's 2 boundaries from Denley's. They weren't even particularly bad balls. He's had a good day. He's gone. Well, it's come off the screen, but he's had a really good outing there with the ball. By far, Middlesex's most effective bowler today.
Yeah, 4 overs, 1 for 29 for Tom Helm. He's been a class apart with the ball. Just comparing. To be fair, Ryan Higgins 1 for 22 from 3. Josh Little, his 3 overs cost 44. Noah Cornwall, 2 overs, none for 16. Zafar 1 for 22 from 3. So how does he shuffle his pack here? Is it Higgins? Final throw of the dice for Lewis Deploy and Middlesex. They are going to bow out, I think, after this defeat. As appears to be inevitable. That'll be their race run in the South Group. Here is Sam Billings, the skipper, on strike, and he hits the winning runs in style over long leg for 6. The Spitfires are still alive in the T20 blast. Brilliant performance, restricting Middlesex to 160, and they have set about that run chase with full conviction, and it is finished off by the skipper. Huge six to the hospital side of the ground, and the Spitfires win. They have gone crucially into that 4th place in the South Group. That is the final qualification spot for the knockout stages. So it's bring on Essex on Friday night. Get your tickets for that one. They have won here by 7 wickets. So what a run chase, Cameron. Brilliant from Mayeye, brilliant from Denley, and finished off in style by the skipper.
Great confidence booster for Billings, great confidence booster for the whole side. As super stuff, winning by 11 balls to spare. Hopefully that'll boost up our net run rate. Just a great day in the sun. Of course, as I say, the horse didn't quite go over the line earlier, but brilliant day, everyone out here in the sun here at the Spitfire Ground, and it sets up next Friday beautifully, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sets up next Friday beautifully. All eyes, of course, on Sussex and their game in hand against Gloucestershire in the week. But whatever happens in that one, Kent still potentially with the fate in their own hands. Net run rate is key. You can see obviously on the website, the different websites, Cricket Info, BBC, you'll find out what that net run rate has been adjusted to for the Spitfires. It certainly would have moved it positively in the right direction, but they have won here in style by 7 wickets. And we say so often in the T20 Blast, that team that can squeak into 4th place, get that quarter-final, so often they're the teams that prevail on finals day. Happened last year to Gloucestershire. Could it happen for the Spitfires? Of course, it'll be intriguing to see what happens to Daniel Bell-Drummond next Friday, because it'd be great to get him up and running. He said earlier on commentary, and thanks to Daniel for coming down and joining us with our stream coverage, he said he's 50-50 at the moment for Friday, where you can bet your bottom dollar Dan Jules, the medical team, and Daniel Bell-Drummond will be trying to get him right, because he is such a valuable man at the top of the order. That said, Harry Finch has stepped up, opening the batting. He's played beautifully tonight alongside Tawanda Mayeye. That set the platform after the bowlers have done a great job, and Kent have won here by 7 wickets. So my huge thanks to Daniel Bell-Drummond for joining us on our stream coverage, to Cameron, Emmanuel Burns, as always, terrific stuff from him, and we will see you next Friday with Victor and the boys. The Battle of the Bridge. Tickets selling very fast. It's 85% by now. It's probably 88%. I'm not in the know, but it was 85% about 2 minutes ago, and those tickets are selling fast. Tickets.kentcricket.co.uk. Come and join Fun in the Sun as the Spitfires try to qualify for the knockout stages of the Blast. They've won here by 7 wickets. We will see you next time. All the post-match reaction on our social media channels. See you next Friday.